Good morning. It is 9:06 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. Hey, how are you? Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. Water filtration systems, water softeners. You get those at betterwater.com. You can listen to the show anywhere. iHeartRadio, tune in, the FM dial. You can watch the show. Facebook, Twitter, Twitch. Those are platforms that are available, but the big ones are YouTube and Rumble. Hit like, hit subscribe, free to do. Share the show with your friends. If you're listening on a digital platform, there's a share button. Do it for us. Help us grow the digital footprint of the radio station. I don't know about you guys, but I'm driving in. And you feel like it's going to be a good day when your lead story is developing on your ride in. It's wild. Absolutely wild. Were you paying attention on your ride in? Or were you more focused on the fog?
I was more focused on the fog.
He was focused on the fog.
I don't want to hit anybody.
Nah. Dude, the fog was wild.
Dude, it was nuts this morning.
I didn't expect that.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting to not be able to see my car from my driveway when I left my house this morning. But
what's going on with your voice?
I found it. I'm feeling a little congested today, unfortunately.
You got a touch of the vid?
I hope not. It doesn't feel like COVID.
Okay,
it just feels like a cold.
A little bit of the Black Plague.
Hopefully. I'd rather have that than COVID. Ugh.
Dude, we have a couple friends that they went down before Christmas break started for the kids at school.
Yeah.
It's like the 20th, the 21st.
Mm-hmm.
And they're still not back at school.
Interesting.
And we think they have the touch of the vid.
Yeah. See, I never got taken out with COVID that hard, though. It was always like I feel bad for a couple of days. And yes, I do technically still have it for these, however long the period is supposed to last. But I felt fine after a while. Like after maybe 4 days at most.
I know I had it once.
I know I've had it twice.
Okay, because I don't do the testing.
Yeah.
I've never done the PCR test. But I knew because I couldn't smell or taste anything.
Yeah.
And I remember cooking dinner for the kids. Virginia was down and out. And I had to pull a chair up to the stove to sit down while I cooked for the kids.
That's so funny. In my head, though, you were pulling a chair up so you could let one of your kids taste the food to be like, does this taste good? Or am I crazy?
I had no idea. I'm
That's
like, best
so
of
funny.
luck. Best of luck with dinner tonight, guys.
Good luck. I can't taste anything.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, I hope you feel better.
Yeah, me too. Like, I don't feel bad or anything. It's just a little congested and it's hard to breathe kind of out of my nose.
Breathing's important.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah,
Just a little bit.
Breathing's
What was that important news you heard on the way in?
We boarded an oil tanker.
Ah.
Real quick though, I just want to. I have been going back and forth with the super texter in between the crisscross handoff and the start of my show.
With the stuff we talked. Yeah.
So I had said, we were talking about the dogs, and I had made a comment when the dogs go to heaven. Okay. And 7422 texted and he said, pets don't go to heaven. They're walking dirt. He said, I'll eat a bug if you can show me one scripture in the Bible that portrays a dog as a positive thing. People worry so much about pets, but we treat children and each other terribly. Listen, I do agree with that last part. There are people out there that worry far more about their pets than other people, and I think that we got to treat people better. I agree.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
But I sent him the Bible verse. Proverbs 12:10. The righteous care for the needs of their animals, but the kindest acts of the wicked are cruel. He said, I want a video of you eating that bug. I said, okay, that's not a dog, but I guess it counts. I'm a working guy, so give me a couple days. Is an ant okay? I need something big and juicy.
Something crunchy.
Yeah, it needs the crunch. Needs crunch. That's what I'm going to reply right
I
now.
heard crickets are pretty good.
Needs crunch. You can get crickets all over the place. We have we also have a gecko at home. That's Brooks. Brooks got it. Brooks needed a lizard, and we obliged him. And you can get crickets.
Oh, easily.
Pretty inexpensive. Inexpensive. The World Economic Forum had their way. We'd all be eating crickets. It's true.
I was going to say, I've heard that crickets taste good. I've had crickets.
You've had crickets?
I've had crickets. We used to, what was it called?
Thailand?
What was it? No, youth group.
Somebody brought in like chocolate covered crickets?
No, regular old crickets. They were all dead. They were like dried and like seasoned with salt. But it was, what was that show that forever ago where they had to eat like a bunch of crazy stuff?
Fear Factor.
Yes.
That was Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
Can you imagine going back in time and watching an episode of Fear Factor and being like, hey, you know that this guy who's making them eat ox testicles right now, He's going to be one of the biggest media people in the entire planet.
Yeah.
You imagine?
One of the episodes that sticks out the most in my brain is when they ate cow brain, and they had to like cut it up and eat little slivers of it. Anyways, we did our own version of that in youth group growing up, and crickets was on there. I ate eel through that. I ate octopus through that. It was very weird, but it was all like pickled or boiled for safety, and it was weird.
Pickled eel.
Yeah,
I wouldn't recommend.
Don't eat it.
I'm not gonna.
It changes the texture a little too much. I've heard regular eel cooked properly is good. Don't recommend it pickled.
And you wonder why you have stomach issues.
Yeah, no. I know why I have stomach issues. Listen, I've come to that conclusion a while ago.
Okay.
It's just unfortunate that I deal with it.
Okay, so you're gonna be okay though.
Yeah, we'll be okay.
We went from Mason has COVID to eating weird stuff.
But yeah, get crickets.
Okay.
We just need a video of it.
We need videos. He said, what did he say? He's replied again. Oh gosh, I lost it. He says he's a working guy. He's gonna try and find something crunchy for us.
I'm here for it.
He'll send a video in a couple days.
Crickets. Don't do spiders.
You know that we actually eat spiders.
Don't tell that. I know what you're referencing.
I've seen the stats. You
I know what you're
accidentally eat
referencing.
like several spiders a year.
It's not true.
No, I believe it.
Can't be.
I believe it.
I hate spiders so much.
Really?
Like huge arachnophobe. Like I can't do it.
Really?
I hate them. Yeah. My theory is spiders used to have 4 legs, and then after the fall of man and snakes lost their legs, God gave the legs to spiders.
We'll have more theory on what happened after the fall of man with Mason coming up.
I'm just saying.
That's your
They
theory.
shouldn't have that many legs.
They shouldn't.
I think they started with 4.
Do you remember the movie in the
more.
90s, Eight-Legged Freaks?
Yeah.
With David Arquette?
Unfortunately.
Completely underrated movie.
It's something. it's something.
David Arquette he's completely underrated. You know that, right?
Yeah.
One of the best. One of the best to do it.
He's something.
And a former WCW World Heavyweight Champion, too.
There we are. There it is.
It's the truth. It's the truth. All right, so the breaking news for the day, we've talked enough about the bugs and the dogs and the COVID.
For now.
For now. We'll get back to it. Trust me, we'll get back to it. U.S. seizes Venezuela-linked Russian-flagged oil tanker after weeks-long pursuit. This broke this morning. Reuters has the story. The U.S. seized a Russian-flagged oil tanker that was being shadowed by a Russian submarine on Wednesday after a more than 2-week-long pursuit across the Atlantic as part of a U.S. blockade of Venezuelan exports. 2 U.S. officials told Reuters this appeared to be the first time in recent memory that U.S. military has seized a Russian-flagged vessel. Now, this is despite calls from Moscow to not do it. The word on the street is that Moscow was begging that they stop the pursuit. I don't know how true that is. Define begging. I have a hard time believing that they're on the phone groveling, or anything like that. But that's the word on the street. U.S. forces were actively boarding and seizing that Venezuelan oil tanker. Fox News had the call on the field, and we'll play that for you now. As this was going down while the op was underway.
Previously known as the Bella 1, had been accused of violating American sanctions and shipping Iranian oil. The ship has also transported Venezuelan oil in the past, but is reporting to be empty right now. Photos showing a U.S. Army Little Bird helicopter with a boarding party on the skids have been seen abeam of the tanker. Little Birds are flown by the U.S. military's elite 160th Special Operations Aviation Regiment, known as the Night Stalkers. This is the same unit that flew into Venezuela to grab Nicolas Maduro and his wife last weekend as part of the full Pegasus package ordered by President Trump. Now, Russia reportedly deployed a submarine and other vessels to escort the oil tanker. It appears the U.S. military got there first. The sanctioned tanker was recently reflagged to become a Russian vessel. Last month, President Trump ordered a full blockade of sanctioned oil tankers entering and leaving Venezuela. And the U.S. Coast Guard had been trying to board the ship last month in the Caribbean when she was heading to Venezuela. The Justice Department issued a warrant to seize that ship over its alleged sanctions violations for transporting oil on behalf of Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, which is classified as a foreign terrorist organization. The tanker then changed course and raced to Europe, with the U.S. Coast Guard cutter in hot pursuit to shadow the tanker. In recent days, the U.S. military sent a boarding team of commandos to Britain for the mission of boarding and taking down the tanker. Previous tracking data showed the sanctioned tanker about 100 miles south of Iceland, likely trying to get to Russia. And now, Dana, U.S. forces are reportedly trying to seize a second oil tanker in the Caribbean, as we've just learned. We are working to confirm that second report, Dana.
I mean, busy day. Busy day. In regards to that first tanker, in a post on X, this is from Reuters, the U.S. Military European Command said the Trump administration had seized that vessel for violating U.S. sanctions, saying the blockade of sanctioned and illicit Venezuelan oil remains in full effect anywhere in the world. U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth said in a reply to that post, the U.S. officials who were speaking on condition of anonymity said Wednesday's operation near Iceland was being carried out by the U.S. Coast Guard and the U.S. military. The Coast Guard had not responded to a request for comment. The officials said Russian military vessels were in the general vicinity of the operation, including a Russian submarine. It was unclear how close the vessels were to the operation, but there were no indications of a confrontation between the U.S. and Russian military forces. Not clear where the vessel will go now. The seizure took place just days after U.S. Special Forces swooped into Caracas, took Nicolas Maduro, and it is unclear where exactly the ship would go now, but sources said it would likely be entering British territorial waters. Britain's Ministry of Defense declined to comment. The U.S. Coast Guard first attempted to intercept that vessel last month, but it refused to be boarded. Since then, it has registered a Russian flag and has been renamed the Marinera. Marinera. Looks like marinara. It's a spicy meatball. It had departed from Venezuelan waters in early January as part of a fleet of ships carrying Venezuelan oil to China in dark mode with its transponder off, according to shipping data and sources. This is just another development in what we've seen coming out of Latin America, and with the ousting of Nicolas Maduro. This is a wild development. Unbelievable. This comes after the development last night where we found out that we were getting a lot of oil from Venezuela, which was a pretty exciting development. We're getting between 30 to 50 million barrels of high-quality oil, sanctioned oil, to the United States. This was being reported last night, yesterday, as I got off the air. I think Murphy had it first, if I recall correctly, but that oil in Venezuela, 30 to 50 million barrels coming to the United States.
Breaking tonight, just moments ago, President Trump on Truth Social posting this to wrap up our last conversation. I'm pleased to announce that the interim authorities in Venezuela will be turning over between 30 and 50 million barrels of high-quality sanctioned oil to the United States of America. This oil will be sold at its market price, and that money will be controlled by me as President of the United States of America to ensure it is used to the benefit of the people of Venezuela and the United States. I have asked Energy Secretary Chris Wright to execute this plan immediately. It will be taken by storage ships and brought directly to unloading docks in the United States. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
You know that the liberals' heads exploded when they read that part of the Truth Social post. He said, it will be controlled by me. Like, the orange man. We can't let him get away with it. All right, so some reports are saying that they're selling us the barrels. Donald Trump there had no mention of the barrels being sold to us. He said that they're coming on in. But the New York Post says that this oil is being sold at its market price and the money is going to be controlled by Trump. He said that in his thing, but I have a hard time grasping it. Are we buying that oil from Venezuela? Is that what we're getting? Possibly. Or are we going to sell that oil at market price? We'll keep you updated on that. Following the January 3rd military operation to depose and capture dictator Nicolas Maduro, the president said he hopes to see more U.S. oil companies enter Venezuela and expand that production in the oil-rich nation. This is just another development. There are going to be more developments to come. Meanwhile, the Democrats are still losing their ever-loving mind over something that they were all in favor of just a few years ago. And, Biden on his way out the door ups the reward on Maduro up to $25 million. And now the Democrats are so mad that Trump followed through and executed on that they're sending out fundraising emails. Yeah, the DNC is actually sending out fundraising emails off the fact that we captured Nicolas Maduro. We'll talk about that on the way. Plus, the reaction from the left has been nothing short of hysterical. A lot to get to, a little bit of time. Thank you for hanging out with us. It's 9:21 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friends at Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, Middle Tennessee. Winter is here. I know. It's hard to believe, especially when you're looking at the temperature today, and it's what? Going to be 60 degrees for the high, 62 for the high. But before you know it, that's going to change. If you don't like the weather in Tennessee, wait 15 minutes. It's going to change. It's going to get cold again. We're probably going to have some snow. Is your home ready for those colder temperatures? Is your system ready for the stress that's going to be put on it? Well, Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling can get you ready and make sure that your home is going to stay warm and worry-free. Right now, if you need a new HVAC system, you can get 0% financing for 18 months, a complimentary UV light with any new system install, and a free 5-year labor upgrade. That's a $750 value. You're not going to beat that. Maybe you're good on the heat, but you got plumbing needs. Same 0% financing, free 50-gallon water heater with select repipes or $600 off. If that doesn't apply, you need to upgrade the indoor air quality. You can take 15% off UV lights when you book a premium duct cleaning. And here's the big buzz. Buy a Beehive Club membership this month. Give one free to a friend. Call my friends at Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling today. 615-775-7833. That's 775-7833. BusyBeeHVAC.com.
Well, Chris has been talking about it this morning, and we'll have more on those 2 oil tankers that have been seized this morning. Also, in light of the removal of Venezuelan President Maduro, just who's running the country down there now? We'll have the latest on all that coming up at 9:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Either you guys watched the Diddy Bowl last night? No?
The what?
The Diddy Bowl.
What is that?
That's what, the Predators played the Oilers last night. The internet was calling it the Diddy Bowl. Oilers won.
Ah. Oh,
Don't worry.
Man.
Don't worry. There's a Diddy Bowl rematch in just about a week. Okay?
jeez. Don't do my hockey team like that, man.
What? I'm just telling you what the internet's calling it. They lost. They lost. They'll have a chance. They'll have a chance to avenge it.
Let the Predators win. Oh, no.
It's 9:27 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. The show is brought to you by our friends at Better Water LLC. The Democrats didn't waste any time, no time at all. They have started fundraising off of the Nicolas Maduro capture, the same capture that they mocked Trump for not doing at the end of his first term, the same capture that they wanted to happen during the Biden administration, and now because the Orange Man did it, everybody's up in arms. They're sending out fundraising emails. It's unbelievable. Of course they are, right? Of course they are. Never waste an opportunity to raise some money. This is what it looks like. If you're watching on the YouTube stream, you'll be able to see the email. It says, another day, another unconstitutional war from Trump, who thinks the Constitution is a suggestion. Congress has war powers, but Republican cowards are hiding under their desks while Trump orders an unauthorized attack against Venezuela. Trump promised peace, but has delivered chaos. The most important thing we can do right now is work to elect more Democrats. So please click the donate button. You know, there's some people out there that followed through and donated. I feel sorry for them. You got $20 to help the Democrats
Give me that.
bring back the Constitution.
Give me that.
Anytime the DNC is asking for money, I picture Bernie Sanders in his mittens and his coat.
Yes.
I can't help it. I'm wired this way.
I come to you asking for money again.
Once again, I'm asking you for a little bit of money, just a little bit.
Sounds like Mom Donnie after he got elected.
Yeah, honestly, we're gonna give you free everything. We also need to raise about $10 million. If you could donate, that'd be great. Stephen A. Smith was not happy about the Democrats hand-wringing, pearl-clutching over Donald Trump, taking out Maduro. We'll bring you that audio on the way. Plus, I'll bring you some new polling numbers on how Latin America feels about President Trump taking out Nicolas Maduro. Hang out with us. It's 9:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
It is 9:30. I'm Jay Harper with your top stories. Stand by. We'll get you a weather forecast. The U.S. has seized 2 oil tankers that it says were linked to Venezuela. One tanker was seized in the Caribbean, and the U.S. military says it was under sanctions. The second vessel was captured in the North Atlantic, and U.S. military sources tell ABC News that it didn't have any oil on it.
The ship has been in pursuit now by the U.S. Coast Guard for the last 2 weeks, since December 20th, when there was an attempted boarding, but it did not succeed. And since then, that ship has been heading northeast along the Atlantic, heading towards, we weren't really sure where it was headed, but about 5 days ago, the ship activated its transponder, and so marine trafficking websites were able to locate it in the waters south of Iceland and west of the United Kingdom. And that is where this operation took place today.
Even though Nicolas Maduro has been removed from Venezuela by the U.S. and ousted from power as president, his regime is still in place there. His vice president, Delcy Rodriguez, was sworn in as interim president, and members of his inner circle are cracking down on any opposition. We hear now from ABC's James Longman. He's in Colombia, that is right along the Venezuelan border.
The situation is so serious because it's being run by the Interior Minister, Cabello. Now, he is widely feared. He's on the same indictment as Maduro from back in 2020, which alleges that he is a narco-terrorist. And there is a $25 million reward for his capture. And yet he is on the same government that the Trump administration is now striking oil deals with. So it doesn't really feel that for the average Venezuelan, things are going to change anytime soon.
That is the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Jay Harper, WTN News.
Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here from my friends at Zero Res Nashville. Start 2026 off right with a clean house. Maybe you're dealing with what I'm dealing with. The kids get slime for Christmas. They always get slime for Christmas. No matter how many times I tell the relatives, please no slime. Inevitably, slime enters the home. And when slime enters the home, slime lands on the carpet. What the heck do you do with the slime on the carpet? You could spend your days Googling and looking up YouTube videos, or you could just save some time and some money with my friends at Zero Res Nashville. They're the Maha of carpet cleaning. They use their exclusive ZR water, no soap residue, no harsh chemicals. Your carpets aren't just going to look clean, they're going to stay clean longer. 2 rooms of carpet in a hallway or stairs, $129. 3 rooms of carpet in a hallway or stairs, only $149. Call my guys today, 615-535-9376, 615-535-9376, or book your appointment online, ZeroResNashville.com. It's 9:37 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? Chris Hand here. You can find me on Twitter, True Social, Instagram, TikTok, all the social media platforms that matter. At Chris Hand on Air. Same username for all of them. At Chris Hand on Air. Hit the follow button. I will follow back. Got video. DHS releasing footage of U.S. personnel boarding sanctioned oil tankers via helicopter in both the North Atlantic and the Caribbean, each tied to Venezuela and our adversaries. If you're watching on the YouTube stream, you see the grainy black and white footage. It looks pretty badass, I'm not going to lie. Looks pretty cool. This guy's just, was that propelling down on the little ropes?
I believe it's rappelling.
Rappelling.
Since they're going down.
Rappelling. You propel up.
Yeah.
You propel.
Propel.
And you rappel.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mason's here for cleaning things up.
Yeah, cleaning things up, being sick, eating bugs. That's what I do.
He's got a titch of COVID.
No.
He'll be all right.
No.
He's only saying no because he didn't take the test. We all know it.
I didn't take the test, but I accidentally got the shot.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, it was
Then
rough.
you definitely have it.
I definitely have it.
If you're watching us on YouTube, again, you're seeing some footage of U.S. personnel boarding sanctioned oil tankers via helicopter in both the North Atlantic and the Caribbean, each tied to Venezuela and our adversaries. Secretary Noem saying both vessels, the motor tanker Bella and the motor tanker Sophia, were either last docked in Venezuela or en route to it. I like the video stream. It's pretty cool. What do you think the thought process is of one of those guys who sees the U.S. military chasing you and then sees the U.S. military boarding your vessel? It's got to be a little bit nerve-wracking, right? Like, I mean, it's a fight or flight response at that moment. I imagine most of them just decide, yes, sir, take what you need. Take what you need. I mean, I don't know how we could assume anything else. We haven't heard any news of a firefight or casualties or any such kind of stuff coming out of this. But we'll keep you updated as more information becomes available. We were talking about the DNC. They're sending out fundraising emails off of the capture of Nicolas Maduro because why not? Never miss an opportunity to yell orange man bad. And if Donald Trump takes a position, they're going to take the opposite. And their brain-dead supporters will just clap along and say stunning and brave and give them all their money. So, of course, they're going to fundraise off of it. One Democrat is not exactly impressed. Not exactly just about the fundraising emails, but the hand-wringing that we've seen from the Democrats since the capture of Nicolas Maduro. He goes by the name of Stephen A. Smith. I do think that he's going to end up running for president. I don't know why he wouldn't at this point. I don't see a more viable candidate on the Democrat side. But this was his take on the Democrats attacking Trump over arresting Maduro.
It's him getting them. Hell with that. That's the right thing to do because across party lines, everybody in our government said this man was a narco-terrorist and we want to get him. What's the problem? You got him. Why are we complaining? People in Venezuela ain't complaining. Venezuelans throughout this nation ain't complaining. A lot of people in Latin America ain't complaining about the fact that you got him.
He's actually right about that. Latin America overwhelmingly supports the capture of Nicolas Maduro. We've seen some new polling numbers revealing just that. The approval for Trump arresting Maduro is at 87% in Costa Rica, 78% in Chile, 77% in Colombia, 76% in Panama, 74% in Peru, 61% of Argentina, 60% of Ecuador, and even squeaking out 52% of Uruguay. So every single Latin American nation is like, no, it's pretty good. It's pretty cool. We're here for it. We're here for it. The only people that are upset vote blue no matter who.
You got people, I know somebody from Venezuela, and now they fantasizing about going back because he's finally been captured.
How many videos have you seen of people saying just that? Can't wait to go home. Can't wait. Just another example of reverse migration under Donald Trump. People are downright giddy. Downright giddy. I've seen video after video of Venezuelans here in America saying, man, it's probably time to go home. We salute you. Get that Venezuelan a stipend.
And they want democratic leadership within their country. Because they went from being one of the most prosperous countries in the nation a few decades ago to people eating out of trash cans.
He's right. 1992. 1990, that's not a long time ago, guys. It's not. 1992, Venezuela was the third richest nation in the Western Hemisphere. Number 3. Imagine where they'd be if they hadn't given in to socialism. It just proves the point. You're one generation away from losing everything. To go from number 3 richest nation in the Western Hemisphere in 92 to where you are today. I mean, gee whiz, that is a fall like no other.
And we complaining. Are we complaining because it's legit, or are we complaining because it was Trump?
There it is.
And this is something that can be perceived as beneficial to him.
There it is.
And the GOP for the midterm, and
Bingo.
ultimately whoever's running in 2028 that wants to mirror the policies that he's implemented. Come on now. We got to be smarter than that. Better than that.
He's right. This is what the Democrats do. If Trump goes one way, they go the opposite. Even if they find themselves on the other side of another 80-20 issue. I don't want to interrupt my enemies while they're making a mistake. Go full Sun Tzu. Don't do that. Don't interrupt the Democrats while they make mistakes. And they are making plenty of them. But keep winning. Keep winning. This is a huge win for the Western Hemisphere.
As a nation, we could complain about a lot of things. We should not be complaining about the fact that Nicolas Maduro is captured. We should not be complaining about that. Not if we care about people instead of politics.
Stephen A. Smith, the voice of reason. Who'd have thunk it? Who'd have thunk it? I love the way he yells, too. He yells. He's like I like listening to Murphy. Murphy yells from time to time. He's like the Democrat version of Murphy with the yelling. Is that just me? Is it just me? Do you feel the same way? It's probably just me.
I think it's just you. I could see what you're pulling at.
Murphy yells sometimes. I love it.
Oh yeah. It's
I love
great.
it. I love his style. To Stephen A. Smith, it's a similar style, is it not?
It's close.
It's similar. I think they have.
I was say, how would Murphy react to you saying that?
I don't know. If I say his name another time, he'll probably call in.
Well, more.
You know, if you say it more than 3 times,
he appears.
You get a visit from him. So we'll pull back from that. He's a busy guy.
Don't want to stop him from his busy day.
He's a busy guy. He's closing on his house today.
Oh yeah.
So he's signing all that paperwork, but I guarantee you, as he's signing the paperwork right now, he feels it. He feels that we're talking about him.
I almost want to say it one more time just to see.
There's a tickle in his ear.
Just to see.
He knows we've mentioned him.
At least twice.
He might not know how or why, but he knows. Like, there's a disturbance in the force.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean? All of Latin America approves the capture of Nicolas Maduro. All of them. Even Ana Navarro on The View yesterday is like, yeah, it's a great thing. It's a great thing. Trump is bad, Orange Man bad, but this is actually pretty good. It's pretty good. And they were like, well, you didn't remove the whole government. What's going to happen? Well, yeah, you didn't want to destabilize everything. And the new government has been bending the knee. They're talking tough in public, but we've heard statements from our administration, Stephen Miller and the like, saying behind closed doors, the Venezuelan regime is bending the knee to the American will. And now we see the interim authorities in Venezuela will be turning over between 30 to 50 million barrels of high-quality sanctioned oil to the United States of America. That's what we're seeing. Yet the Democrats, they don't want to celebrate any win that could be tied to President Trump. Jasmine Crockett, maybe you've heard of her. I have a feeling we're going to be hearing a lot less from her after the Senate race in Texas. I think Jasmine Crockett is going to go the way of the buffalo come 2026 towards the end there.
People can only hope.
People be texting.
People be texting.
People don't think it be like it is, but it do.
People be texting.
She was on The View yesterday, and she said everyone knows Maduro was illegitimate. But what about Trump?
And, I do want to just say this. Everyone wants to talk about how Maduro was illegitimate. As we sit here on January 6th, I do want to be clear. Somebody else was trying to be a Maduro of the United States. Yep. Somebody else wanted to do the exact same thing. Yep. The difference is Maduro was successful.
Define success. Define success. One of them is now in a jail cell. One of them is the leader of the free world. Can we define success? She's insinuating that he tried to overthrow the government. I have long said that if President Trump wanted to overthrow the government on January 6, 2021, you know what he would have done? he would have overthrown the government on January 6, 2021. Do you understand? Does everybody understand that? If Donald Trump put out a tweet and said, Patriots, I need every veteran, police officer, firefighter, EMT worker, National Guard member, every single one of my supporters, it is time to take back this country. You know what would have happened on January 6, 2021, right? Like, let's not beat around the bush. You know what would have happened. I know what would have happened. And it would have looked a lot different than the Fedsurrection we got. Everybody knows it. It would have been a different ballgame. We have a guy that wants to be just like Maduro. Okay. Thank you, Jasmine. Exit stage left after you lose your Senate race in Texas. We thank you for your service. You've not the service in government, but like the service to News Talk Radio. You have provided a lot of content for us, and we salute you for that. We do.
People be texting.
We do. They do. They don't think it'd be like it is, but they do. It's just the truth. It's just the truth. They also want to try and make this seem like MAGA is split on the Maduro capture. That this isn't America first. I would argue against it. I think that this is America first. You can't have our two largest adversaries operating in our hemisphere. Do you want Donald Trump to sit on his hands? Of course not. The polling's out. CNN was talking about the polling yesterday, and the GOP approval rating of Donald Trump since the capture of Maduro, it's going up. It's going up.
About what the president's done in Venezuela?
Let me be very clear. There is no rift in the Republican Party.
Oh, that's weird. They've been trying to say the exact opposite.
Yes, there are some folks like Marjorie Taylor Greene and Thomas Massie who are quite skeptical of this. They are very much in the minority.
Is anybody shocked also by Thomas Massie and Marjorie Taylor Greene being against it? Is anybody stunned? Is anybody? No, of course not.
What are we talking about here? Well, why don't we just talk the GOP on the U.S. military ousting Maduro? Ipsos, 65% support, 6% opposed. How about the Washington Post poll? 74% support, just 10% opposed. If you look among 2024 Trump supporters, we're talking about 80% support. The vast, vast majority of Republicans are with Donald Trump on this issue. Massie and Marjorie Taylor Greene are very much in the minority. Very few Republicans are with him.
You say they're with him on this issue. Do you even need those words, this issue?
No, I don't need the words, this issue, because the bottom line is this. Donald Trump has had an iron grip on that Republican base for a long period of time, and it is the same iron grip that he had 6 months ago. I know every so often people are trying to say, oh, I spot these little rifts in the Republican base. They're finally starting to break. They're starting to break from Donald Trump. It ain't happening, at least when it comes to the approval rating. Look at this. 84% 6 months ago, 85% now. You don't have to be a mathematical genius to know 85% and 84% are basically the same number. In fact, 85% is 1 point higher.
Can you fact check that for me, Mason? I want to believe, but at the same time, I do know that it's CNN. Is 85, in fact, higher than 84, which was the approval rating 6 months ago? Mason's doing research and
fact check true.
Whoa.
Fact check true.
We have to take things from CNN with a grain of salt, but when we have Mason back there running the numbers, even with a touch of the vid, we have to believe him.
It's true.
Believe all Masons. That's what we say. Well, not the free ones, but our Mason's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm pretty cool.
It's pretty good.
Oh yeah,
he's pretty good.
I was trying to find it.
Who's next? I feel like Goldberg in '96. Who's next? Well, the Colombian president had some things to say. We'll talk about that when we get back. 9:51. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friends at the Wellness Institute of Nashville. You heard me and Dan talking about it earlier this morning, the hydro wave. If you're dealing with back or neck pain, sciatica, herniated or bulging discs, knee pain, numbness in your arms or legs, you need to talk to my friends at the Wellness Institute of Nashville. They are the first and the only office in Tennessee that has a brand new machine called the hydro wave. The hydro wave is going to stimulate stem cells for real cellular healing. No surgery, no needles, no opioids. You pair that with the non-surgical spinal and knee decompression, and this is about as advanced as it gets. What you're hearing is the pathway to a pain-free life in 2026. They're going to use anti-gravity machines. They're going to use robot lasers. They're actually going to take the time to review your MRI and explain what's happening and how to fix it. You can get back to a pain-free life. It is within reach if you call my friends at the Wellness Institute of Nashville. 615-246-5009, 615-246-5009, or visit them online, painisbad.com.
As Chris has been talking about this morning, the U.S. has seized some oil tankers. It says were linked to Venezuela. We'll have a report. Also, the latest job report has been released. We'll have details on that. It's coming up at 10 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Jay Harper in the newsroom doing a bang-up job. What's up, Jay?
Oh, gosh, man, me since about 2 o'clock this morning.
Are you and Johnny B dropping a new Circle in the Drain podcast soon?
Well, yeah, actually, one came out this morning
Let's
with
go.
country music star Deborah Allen was our guest.
I love it, man. You guys have been doing a great job with that.
Thank you, Chris.
Huge fan of you and JB. Love Circle in the Drain podcast. Everybody needs to go find that, like it, subscribe, and listen as quickly as humanly possible. We love JB. I was texting him over the holiday season, and we were being gushy and mushy. He said, "I love you, man." He said, "I love you too, bro." Yeah. Miss that guy.
He's a good guy.
One of the best. One of the greatest to ever do it. All right, find your Circle in the Drain podcast wherever podcasts are available. And we were talking about the reaction from the Maduro capture. Who's next? Who's next? In my best Bill Goldberg impression. Bill Goldberg. All right, so I think it's going to be Colombia. I hope it's Colombia. Because their narco president, President Petro, has been talking a lot of crap. He actually said, "Come get me. I'm waiting." That's what I would be careful. I would be careful saying that to President Trump. All he needs to do now is start dancing, and they will. They will oblige him. This is Fox News with the call.
Petro responded that he would take up arms if the U.S. attacks this country and told the president directly, "Come and get me. I'm waiting." Now, remember, those are the last words of Nicolas Maduro in the back of that car right before they took him.
What do you think? Should we get him? Would you take that deal?
I could see it happening.
Okay, I'd take that deal.
I'll make that deal. How about you, bitch? You make that deal?
I'd make that deal.
I don't blame you. Damn good deal.
Damn good deal. Hey, on the way, we're waiting for a White House briefing on a major Maha announcement. Maha's been racking up the wins, baby. Have you seen this? There's rumors that, well, not rumors. They've reduced the vaccine child schedule from, what was it, like 72 to 11. That's a pretty big deal. RFK Jr. is recommending removing fluoride from the water supply. We'll be keeping you posted on what's happening inside the White House briefing on the way. We may even cover it live, and we'll talk a little bit more about Minnesota fraud and the fallout that's happening there as well. It's a big story, man. It's not going anywhere. Tim Walz, though, he's adamant that he's not going to resign. In fact, he said he's going to ride people harder than he's ever rode them before. It felt a little weird.
Choice words, not the ones I would have chosen.
The entire crowd went, "Pause, bro. Pause.
Bag up.
Bag it up. Back it up, Terry." We'll bring you the highlights from Tim Walz yesterday, or lowlights, depending on who you ask. And we'll talk a little about Minnesota fraud on the way while we monitor this White House briefing on the Maha update. And also we're getting some comments from House Speaker Mike Johnson on not just the Venezuelan oil tankers that we seized this morning, but also on Greenland. We'll talk about that as well. Hang out with us. It's 10 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
It is 10 a.m. I'm Jay Harper with your top stories. Stand by for a weather forecast. The U.S. has seized 2 oil tankers, it says, were linked to Venezuela. One tanker was seized in the Caribbean, and the U.S. military says it was under sanctions. The second vessel was captured in the North Atlantic near Iceland. And U.S. military sources tell ABC News that it didn't have any oil on it. The ship in the North Atlantic was the 3rd oil tanker captured by the U.S. since December 10th. More from ABC's Luis Martinez on the seizure in the North Atlantic.
There are Russian Navy vessels in the vicinity of the tanker. It appears that over the last couple of days, those Russian vessels moved closer to the Marinera, in effect, to maybe escort it. So the question now becomes, what do those ships do?
The man accused of opening fire on students and staff at Brown University and then shooting and killing a professor at MIT, he left behind a video that police say could help them in their investigation. According to the video, suspect Claudio Valente said a 20-year grudge led him to buying guns and carrying out his plan. Valente was found dead inside a storage unit after authorities were searching for nearly a week after the shooting. We hear now from ABC's Aaron Katursky.
I never wanted to do it in an auditorium. I wanted to do it in a regular room, the suspect said on the video. I had plenty of opportunities, especially this semester. He then went to Boston and murdered Professor Nuno Lalero of MIT before hiding out in a storage unit he had rented 3 years earlier and recording his rambling testimonial. The testimonial concluded by cruelly suggesting his victims at Brown could have escaped.
Now, news on the job front. Finding a job last month was easier than in November. That's according to the ADP National Employment Report. But ABC's Jim Ryan says it also depends on the industry that you're looking for work for.
Payroll processor ADP says 41,000 private sector jobs were created in December, with gains in construction, trade and transportation, leisure and hospitality. Education and health services got a major boost with 39,000 new positions added. The professional and business services sector, though, took a big hit, losing 29,000 jobs.
That's the latest news. Weather is on the way. I'm Jay Harper, WTN News.
It's 10:06 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. Any moment, White House and cabinet members are going to be holding a briefing. We'll keep you updated on what's coming out of that. In the meantime, we got a lot to cover on the Minnesota fraud front. A lot of people being punished for it. One of them actually happens to be Nick Shirley, who he exposed the fraud. He's being punished by Alphabet. Not the Alphabet Mafia, but like Alphabet, Google's parent company. Apparently last night, and if you're watching on the YouTube stream, you can watch this in real time. You were Googling Nick Shirley's X account, and it was nowhere to be found. Where's the best place to hide a dead body? Second page of Google. Second page of Google, baby. That's the best place. Nick Shirley's not impressed with that, saying, try to search Nick Shirley on X, and it's nowhere to be seen. You'll find everything else but my official X page. Nick on X. I expose fraud. Fraud is bad. If you're mad I exposed fraud, that makes you one of two things. One, stupid. We don't say stupid, Dad. I know. I'm just reading. I'm reading, hon. Or two, a fraudster. Yeah, that sounds pretty accurate. That sounds pretty accurate. Nick Shirley also made an appearance on the new Riley Gaines show. Our friend Riley Gaines has launched her own show, the Riley Gaines Show. Worth a watch. Riley is one of the best people that you could ever meet, and her show is fantastic. She had Nick on, and Nick was saying, Tim Walz is calling him all sorts of names, except for liar.
Tim Walz, he called me far right. He called me a delusional conspiracy theorist, and then he also called me a white supremacist. Yet he can't deny any of the claims. Because when you're speaking facts, these people can't come after you. And so when I was just speaking the facts about fraud is fraud, 89% of the population committing the fraud is Somalian, that does not make me a racist. Dollars have no race to it. It's just a pure fact that money's being stolen from Republicans and Democrats.
So we have seen no denial from Tim Walz at this point. Is that correct?
No denial.
Yeah, that's
a lot of deflecting.
Yeah, a lot of deflecting. No denial from Tim Walz. Even yesterday, he did a lot of finger pointing. He did a lot of deflecting, as Nick Shirley said there. But he says he's the one accountable. He's the one accountable. Tim Walz yesterday doing a big press conference. He had the big resignation press conference, but he pissed off quite a few reporters by not taking any questions. He hightailed it out of there like he was Joe Biden or something, except he actually was able to find his way to the exit without being guided. Just a note of differentiation between the two. But he had another press conference yesterday where he did take some questions, and he was speaking about the fraud in Minnesota. And he blamed it all on, you guessed it, the orange man.
Doing to the Somali community is absolutely unconscionable. And at some point in time, this is about, I don't know what it is. Whatever it is, I bug the crap out of Donald Trump. I would argue it is because I believe in public service. I've not enriched myself in office.
Well, okay. We remember this from the election. Tim Walz didn't have any. He didn't have any stonks. He didn't have any real net worth. I think that proves he's just as dumb as we think he is. But I digress. President Trump also not enriching himself while in office, donating all of his salary. So there's that.
I treat people with dignity. I agree to compromise with people, and the attacks on Minnesota are far beyond me, and it's hurting Minnesota. Here's what I have full confidence in is Republicans are going to lose races up and down the ticket, because where is their plan on health care as health care prices doubled? Where is their plan to push back on the president? Again, for God's sakes, the children of a murdered speaker, and they can't speak up and say, Mr. President, this is wrong, stop it. And you write a story that one retired legislator said it and one member. How can you not have every single one of them saying this is wrong?
So on the healthcare front, yes, healthcare is going up because Democrats baked that into the cake. The subsidies are running out. The Republicans are working on a plan. On the other front, he's talking about the Melissa Hortman theory that Melissa Hortman was somehow murdered because she voted against giving illegal aliens healthcare benefits in the state of Minnesota. That's been a theory that's been around for quite a long time, since the initial murder of Melissa Hortman, not a theory that Donald Trump came up with out of the blue. He did post about it. We played that video on Super Talk just a couple of days ago. Again, I don't know how much I buy into the theory, but the theory is there nonetheless. Okay, got it. So you're mad that Donald Trump is theorizing? Is that what we're doing?
And I'm going to fight this without having to spend any time worrying about the politics of this. I'm going to fight it, making sure that Minnesotans are cared for. I'm going to fight it by doing the respect that we should have for rule of.
You're going to fight for Minnesotans as you're letting them be ripped off to the tune of billions of dollars by Somalis. as the Somalis are moving in en masse and displacing the Minnesotans. You know, there's like all these stories where you'll look and like there's a bar in downtown Minneapolis that had been there for decades upon decades, and it has to shut down because the Somalians came in, took over the neighborhood, and well, drinking is haram. You can't have that. You're not allowed to do that, and dancing is probably frowned upon as well. But no care for the Minnesotans there, no care for the business owners who had to move out of those neighborhoods. No care for the people that are footing the bill for all the Somali fraud. No. Okay, got it. But people are calling on him to resign. Donald Trump said yesterday, or was it yesterday or the day before? It doesn't really matter. But he's on Truth Social, and he said he expected Tim Walz to resign before the end of his term. I still think that that's a possibility as we're learning more and more about the fraud. Make no mistake about it, Tim Walz didn't drop out of the governor's race because of the fraud that was exposed. He dropped out of the governor's race because of the fraud that's going to be exposed. However, yesterday, he said he's not going to resign.
Their idea of improving this state is being a parrot for Donald Trump, agreeing to everything that he agreed with. Well, here's what I'm going to tell you. It ain't happening. I'm not going anywhere. And you can make all your requests for me to resign over my dead body. Will that happen? I will fight this thing till the very end to make this state better. And the question that I think they need to decide is when did the guy in the White House resign? When does he take accountability for what he did? Because it isn't going to happen here in terms of us shying away from making this.
So he's going full Leo DiCaprio and Wolf on Wall Street. I'm not bleeping leaving. I wanted to find the Somali equivalent of Wall Street, so that way I could say, you know, he's the wolf on that. But there's no Somali equivalent, so the joke fell flat. He's not resigning. He's not going to resign. Tom Homan said, "You better get some counseling if you're having a fit now, Tim Walz, because this is going to get a lot bigger, whether you like it or not." Tom Homan was on Fox News last night. This is on Hannity, and he says, this is tip of the iceberg, okay? Tim Walz says he's not going anywhere. Tom Homan says, neither am I.
Well, first of all, the operation, yeah, I'm extremely happy. And this just come as no surprise to the American people. You and I spoke months ago. I made a promise that we would flood the zone of every sanctuary city in this country as bringing thousands of more agents, 10,000 more agents because of the big, beautiful bill. Why Minneapolis? Why are they being prioritized right now? Because billions of dollars fraud has been uncovered. And what they need to be concerned with, Tim Walz says he's not going anywhere. Well, either am I. Either is President Trump. Either is Pam Bondi. Either is Kristi Noem. So we're there because of the priority census, right? But that show is going on the road. So if the Democrats are having a fit now, you better get counseling, because this is about to get a hell of a lot bigger throughout this nation. That show is going on the road. I actually think Minneapolis is the tip of the iceberg. I think we're going to find a hell of a lot more in Illinois, New York, California. We'll see. But this operation will go nationwide. We're going to keep our promise. And because President Trump is sitting in the Oval Office, every American put their head on the pillow tonight, knowing the Border Patrol is on that border, stopping all threats coming across, most secure border in history of this nation. ICE agents and FBI agents are working 24/7, 365, every hour of every day, taking public safety threats and national security threats off our streets. Sleep well, America, because we're keeping America safer. So we're doing exactly Minnesota what we're going to do nationwide, which you and I talked about, Sean. We're keeping President Trump's promise to American people to make this country safe again.
Based, Tom Homan, he's one of the best, and he's a super nice guy. If you ever have the opportunity to meet him, I had him on the show, I mean, a couple years ago now, but just a good guy. Not going anywhere. Not going anywhere. This is the tip of the iceberg. Taking the show on the road. Love that. Chicago, Illinois, California, New York. Get ready. Get ready. They're coming in. As we speak, DHS has flooded the zone, as Tom Homan would say, with 2,000 agents. There has been a surge. Tim Walz is very upset about that. He says that this is being done to harass the Somalis, the ones that are committing the billions of dollars in fraud. Got it.
Room knows it's evil. And that type of hate and those types of threats that are actionable, yes. And look, I'm concerned for my family, but I've got a little bit of protection now. My family, not so much. But what about Somali immigrants who are minding their own business?
Will somebody please think of the Somalis?
We've got 2,000 folks. We don't even know who they are. They'll be wearing masks, being here in Minnesota, harassing them. If you want us to fix fraud, come and help us.
That's That's why they sent in the 2,000 agents. Actually, that is the help. Help is on the way to the good people of Minnesota. Heck, even the good Somalis that are there legally, that don't want to be swept up in all this. It needs to get cleaned up. It needs to get cleaned up fast. Tim Walz has abdicated his duty to the point where he can't even run for re-election. He knows it. Everybody knows it. And then now the feds have to clean up the mess. Oh, all these masked men are coming in, and they're harassing the Somalis. They're asking questions like, are you here legally? Oh, the horror. They're asking questions like, hey, what'd you do with all that federal money? Oh, gosh. Why would they do this? It's heartbreaking. It's somebody, please, someone think of the Somalis. They're wearing masks. Yeah, because people like Tim Walz call them the Gestapo and the Nazis and say they're disappearing people. And then lunatic leftists who listen to lunatics like Tim Walz send bullets their way. Dox them on the internet. Dox their families. Threaten them. Yeah, they're wearing masks. Yep, they are. They're harassing the Somalis. Will someone think of the Somalis? No. We're focused on finding the fraud and fixing that. Tim Walz, though, during the same press conference, did admit he is guilty. He did. In his own words, he said, I'm accountable for this. You sure are, Tim. You sure are. It's not every day we get something truthful out of Tim Walz, yet yesterday was one of those days.
State, there's full accountability for everybody because I buck stops with me. I'm accountable for this. And because of that accountability, I'm not running for office again. But I have a year to continue to improve on a record that I think will stand up against anybody's.
The record that includes the billions of dollars in Somali fraud that you look the other way on? The record that is so good you had to drop out of the governor's race in Minnesota? Okay. There was a glimmer of hope in there that he was going to be actually honest when he said, I'm accountable for this. But then he went off about how great his record is, and it's, okay, we're back to lying.
A record that has made Minnesota better, a record that makes people want to come here, and a record that has respected not only the dignity of people, but the idea of rule of law.
Okay. Yes, like I said, there was a glimmer of truth in there. It was like something shiny at the bottom of the ocean, and the waves came in, and we can't find it again. You know, it's dang, where'd that go? I saw it, and then it was gone. So, Tim Walz, he made sure to give a shout out to the Rainbow Mafia before he left the podium too. He wanted to send a message to the LGBTs. And he had a hyper focus on the T's in this statement.
Drumbeat coming from Washington, from the White House to many of the different departments in Washington, talking about fraud and talking about you. What was the one thing that you heard that said, this is why I've got to step out? Was it that constant drumbeat coming at you, or was it more of a personal decision?
No, I think it's a personal decision. It's effectiveness. I never took this job to be governor. I took the job to pass things like paid family medical leave. I took this job to get our children food. I took this job, and what I'll continue to do for a year is I will protect every single person in this state. And I had an announcement to them on our LGBT community, especially our trans community, stay the hell out of Minnesota for the folks who want to hassle those people. These are
Who's hassling who? What are we talking about? Who's going into Minnesota and saying, you know what we're going to do today? We're going to go hassle some trans people. Are there trans people in the Somali community? I would ask Tim Walz, how does the Somali community feel about the LGBT community? That'd be an interesting round table. That'd be interesting. What else did he say here? I didn't get into this to be the governor. I got into this to feed our kids. Well, you failed because you gave those programs to Somalis, who then lied about feeding kids and then kept the money. So, by your own standards, you're an abject failure. That's cool. Dana Perino, real quick, before we hit the break. Dana Perino on Fox News last night saying, Tim Walz, first shoe to fall. But there's a lot more coming. Get ready.
I think he's got a real problem because he might have been the first shoe to fall, but there's more coming. because Keith Ellison, who is the Attorney General of Minnesota, former congressman who is a member of Democratic leadership, he is on audio, leaked audio, talking to these people, telling that he will cover up the investigations, telling that they'll tell the investigators to back off. So this resignation or decision not to run, not a resignation, but the decision not to run is not the end of the story. The fraud story doesn't end there. To me, it's really just beginning. And thankfully, there's a very good prosecutor in the state that is relentless. So hopefully they'll get it cleaned up.
She said this isn't the end of the story. This is the beginning of the story. And in fact, the plot thickened yesterday when the Minnesota auditor report dropped. Whew, the Minnesota audit report, yo. It went from bad to worse. We'll bring you that on the way. 10:22. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friend Shane Ring over at Cover Nash. Have you looked at your health insurance bill lately? You should do that today. You should look at it because you'll probably have the same reaction that I do and go, what the hell does this mean? What is that? That comes out of where? Who does what for what? If you're tired of health insurance that feels like a math test, confusing percentages, surprise bills, the fine print that kicks you in the butt, make it simple. Talk to my friend Shane Ring over at Cover Nash. Cover Nash is a brand new nationwide PPO plan that's going to give you the freedom to pick your own doctors anywhere in the U.S., actually, not like Obama, with no referrals, no red tape, $250 deductibles, flat $50 copay for any doctor visit, even specialists, outpatient surgeries, only $250, hospital stays, just $1,000 total, free preventative care because it is ACA compliant. And here's the kicker, no surprise bills, no hidden fees, just real protection from real providers. And if that's not the perfect fit, Shane works with 75 top-rated companies to find you something that fits your budget and your needs. It's going to be unique to you, and Shane can tailor a plan that works for you. Give him a call today, 615-465-0023. That's 615-465-0023 to talk to Shane Ring from Cover Nash. If I'm a betting man, he's sitting at his desk waiting for your phone call right now, or you can book some time with Shane online, covernash.com.
Selling your home can be stressful, but it doesn't have to be. Get a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. There are no showings, no open houses, no stress. Work with the #1 real estate team in the U.S. and close with confidence. Go to markspain.com today.
Coming up at the bottom of the hour, 2 oil tankers seized. We'll have that story. And a video discovered from the Brown University shooter. We'll have those stories and more coming up at 10:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Jay Harper in the newsroom. My name is Chris Hand. We've been talking about this Maha press briefing from the White House. Caroline Leavitt is up there right now. You know what they unveiled? They unveiled a new food pyramid. It's the inverse. Protein, dairy, healthy fats, vegetables, and fruits. That makes up the base. And then it works their way down to whole grains at the tip. It's an upside down pyramid. Do you see that? You watching on Super Talk TV? If you are, hit like and subscribe. What do you think about the new? What do you think about the new food pyramid, Mason?
I'm here for it.
I'm here for it as well. Have you heard? So we talk about this kind of stuff a lot. I heard a theory on the carnivore diet. My sister does the carnivore diet. She's lost a ton of weight. She looks great. No Zempic, just meat. But they said one of the reasons why people are getting so unhealthy is just all the chemicals on the food. And they said that the carnivore diet, this is just a theory. I don't know. This is the theory I read, which I thought was interesting. Said that the carnivore diet is actually more healthy because when the cow is eating all that food with all the chemicals and the microplastics and all that junk, it actually is being filtered through the cow's stomach first.
Oh, yeah, fair.
So then and the cow's got 2, you know what I mean? So when it goes through that, and then it filters out, so you're getting a lot less of that in the meat. So it's not that eating meat is necessarily healthier, but there's way less junk because the cow is actively filtering that out.
Yeah.
Based.
Interesting.
Vegans taking another L.
Bro,
once
speaking
again.
of vegans, I've seen a lot of those videos on my social media account coming up of vegans eating meat for the first time after like 10 years or for the first time ever. Every time they take a bite of a steak and they're like, oh.
Dude, all right. So I've told this story before, but it's one of my favorite stories. I had a friend, okay? We worked at Turning Point together.
You have friends?
I do. I had a friend. This is past tense.
Okay. I wanted to make sure.
No. I love this guy. He goes by the name David John, and he ran all of the web stuff for Turning Point.
Yeah.
So he's wired a little differently because you got to be wired a little bit differently to get in on the web stuff, right? Like when you're doing like the ads and all the stuff, all the spreadsheets. He's just a weird guy. I say that lovingly, and I would tell him to his face. So he was a vegan that also believed in simulation theory.
Interesting.
So simulation theory is the theory that we're all like plugged in like Neo in the Matrix, and all of this is fake and it's all simulated. So I said, Dave, you can't be both. And he said, what do you mean? I said, you can't be a vegan that believes in simulation theory because if you believe in simulation theory, nobody killed that cow, dude.
Yeah, it's a bunch of ones and zeros.
And you know what he said to me? He put his hand up. He said, Chris, I don't have time for this right now. I said, bro, these are your worldviews, man. I'm just telling you, you can't be both. You can't be a vegan that believes in simulation theory.
Yeah.
New food pyramid looks sick, though, by the way.
Yeah.
It looks awesome.
It's pretty good.
Big fan.
We'll
talk a little bit more about that. We'll bring you some clips as they become available on the way. We were talking about the Minnesota fraud. The audit report has come out. The Minnesota auditor has dropped a report that is causing a bit of problems, a bit of headaches for Tim Walz. We'll bring you that report when we return. It's 10:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
It's 10:30, and I'm Jay Harper with your top stories. The weather forecast is on the way. U.S. officials now say 2 tankers accused of running illegal oil out of Venezuela have been seized in operations this morning. One was taken near the Caribbean. The other was seized in the North Atlantic. ABC's Stephen Portnoy has more on the second mission.
Sites indicate the ship is close to the UK and Iceland. The Coast Guard has been tracking the Bella 1 for 2 weeks and attempted to seize it when it was still in the Caribbean, apparently on its way to Venezuela. In the past month, the U.S. has seized 2 other oil tankers for operating in violation of U.S. sanctions.
The man accused of opening fire on students and staff at Brown University and then shooting and killing a professor at MIT left behind a video before his death that police say could help them in their investigation. We learn more now from ABC's Aaron Katursky.
Law enforcement sources tell ABC News the killer nursed a 20-year grudge against someone at Brown University and planned his attack for a long time. In chilling confessional videos recorded in his native Portuguese inside the New Hampshire storage unit where his body was found after a 6-day manhunt, Claudio Valente offered no apology and said he had no regrets.
The American Federation of Teachers is demanding that reprimands be lifted and terminations be reversed for educators who posted about assassinated activist Charlie Kirk. ABC's Jim Ryan says the group's Texas branch has filed a federal lawsuit.
After Charlie Kirk's killing, the Texas Education Commissioner launched investigations of teachers who had made comments deemed, quote, reprehensible and inappropriate. Randy Weingarten heads the American Federation of Teachers and says of the probes,
it's literally the classic definition of a First Amendment violation.
State leaders, including Governor Greg Abbott, have called for the firing of teachers who made comments critical of Charlie Kirk, even on private social media pages.
That is the latest news. Weather is on the way. I'm Jay Harper, WTN News.
Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here from my friends at USS, United Structural Systems. We talk about these guys all the time because they are the best. They've been doing this work since 1994, keeping Tennessee homes dry, stable, and secure the way they should be. Walk around your house today. Are your floors sagging? Do you have cracks showing up in the drywall? Doors that won't shut right? These aren't little blemishes that you need to clean up. These are actually red flags and warning signs that there could be something happening much worse beneath your feet. That could be your foundation weakening. A solid foundation is going to be the backbone of a strong home. And when it weakens, it's only going to get worse with time. It's not going to fix itself. This is why you call USS. They use American-made adjustable steel supports built to last, backed with transferable warranties from I-beams to custom crawl space repairs. These guys are going to fix it right the first time. So when it comes to your home, don't kick the can down the road anymore. 2026 is the year to get it fixed. Call the people I trust. United Structural Systems, 615-488-7855, 615-488-7855, or you can find these guys online, USSTN.com. It's 1037, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? It's Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by our friends at Better Water LLC. You can listen to the show anywhere. iHeart, TuneIn, the FM dial. You can watch the show. Super Talk TV, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Rumble are the big ones. Hit like, hit subscribe, share the show with your friends. And I love this audience. It's like a big family. You see over in the YouTube chat what's going on with Travis? You see that? You see that?
Yeah, it's a little...
Travis is expecting his first granddaughter, and we just want to say congratulations to you, my friend.
Big hype.
That's awesome, dude. First granddaughter on the way. We're like a big family. You know what I mean? And like a big family, we got good news over there, and then everybody else is yelling at me, calling me out. I said a cow has 2 stomachs. I don't know. I knew it was more than one. Apparently it's 4. But then it's being fact checked by other texters, and they're saying it's 1 stomach, 4 compartments.
Extra filtered. That's all we were getting at.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just talking about the carnivore diet. 6764 said his father-in-law is on the carnivore. Lost 140 pounds.
Wow.
Doesn't have to take any meds anymore.
That's great.
No more CPAP. Dude, that's awesome. That's amazing.
Yeah, my dad keeps talking about it, and I'm tempted to push him towards it.
Dude, you should. I mean, I don't know if it works for everybody. I mean, everybody's going to be different. But hey, if you're trying to lose weight, why wouldn't you try it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Plus,
try anything once.
Who wouldn't want to eat steak all the time?
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Dude, I knew a guy. I don't mean to keep telling Turning Point stories.
Yeah, you do.
The guy in charge of productions over at Turning Point.
Yeah.
We used to do In-N-Out Fridays. Charlie would say you can go to In-N-Out on the company on Friday. We're supporting In-N-Out, and
nice.
So we'd have In-N-Out Fridays. But the guy in charge of productions, who's one of the nicest guys you'd ever meet, Marcus, he was on the carnivore diet. So I would hop in his car and we would go over to In-N-Out, and he would get 4 burgers, but just the patties.
Not even like protein style?
I don't know.
With the lettuce wrap?
No lettuce.
Just patties.
Just patties. I thought that was a little weird.
Yeah, I feel like you have to hold it in something.
If you're gonna go for the carnivore diet,
yeah.
Like, I mean, I like In-N-Out. Everybody knows that. But I feel like there's healthier meat.
Oh, for sure.
Right? Like,
for sure.
So I don't know. All right, we were talking about Minnesota. I have been teasing the audit report that has dropped. The Minnesota auditor has dropped a report. It does confirm that the Department of Human Services fabricated records and did not verify grant recipients. And then it gets even worse. They tried to cover their tracks. They tried to cover their tracks by fabricating these reports. This is a little bit longer than I would normally want to play. But I want you to get the full effect of this, okay? It's a 3-minute clip. I'm going to play it in its entirety because I think it's that important. So this is the details on the Minnesota auditor and the audit that they did on the fraud happening in Minnesota. It dropped yesterday.
Against fraud. The performance audit shows the Behavioral Health Administration sent millions of dollars out the door in grants without making proper checks into who was receiving them. And that is not even the most jaw-dropping finding. Lou Raguse has tonight's top story. Lou?
Julie, according to the nonpartisan legislative auditor, this is another case of mismanagement of taxpayer money.
Well, we knew that was coming. I love that they go nonpartisan, though. This is a nonpartisan report. This is not done by the dastardly Republicans. This is not done by the soft libs. This is nonpartisan. This is nonpartisan.
But perhaps the most explosive revelation is that managers within DHS, the Department of Human Services, tried to cover their tracks by backdating and creating new documents.
Weird.
But I do want to talk about what a serious issue this is and how it is, frankly, unacceptable.
Another sobering report by the Office of the Legislative Auditor, this one concerning the Behavioral Health Administration within the Department of Human Services, which issues grants to providers treating mental health and drug and alcohol addiction, hundreds of millions of dollars each year. The audit found them issuing grants to applicants without a bidding process.
So what we saw is that there was multiple entities that could have been eligible, and they chose not to provide a justification for why they were picking those.
This report is quite stunning.
one outrageous example. The auditors found a grantee that was paid $672,000 for 1 month of work without any info on what they do.
That could mean anything, right? Maybe they just trusted them, right? Maybe, do they do the honor system in Minnesota? They're probably like big on the honor system, right?
And the audit says the grant manager who paid it then left DHS a couple days later and became a paid consultant for that company.
Oh. Okay. It's not. If you're operating on the honor system at that point, the honor system has failed you.
Yeah, just a little bit.
So you sign the paperwork, you give them $672,000. They didn't give you any receipts on any work, and then like 3 days later, you're like, "Hey, got a new job, guys. I'm closing up shop here, and this is completely unrelated." Okay.
To me, that's criminal.
Auditor Judy Randall says she was most shocked that during the audit, multiple DHS managers backdated or created new documents to try to cover their tracks.
Weird. Frankly, in the 27 plus years I've been with OLA, I have never seen this before. I will say we have had suspicions periodically, but we have never been able to prove it, to document it, and we did in this case. And it's very troubling.
Temporary DHS Commissioner Shireen Gandhi's response.
I was shocked to hear this information in the exit conference, and it is absolutely unacceptable that any staff would provide anything other than accurate representation of the work done to an auditor.
I can appreciate the fact that she says it's unacceptable and that this can't be happening. I agree with all that. But when she says she's shocked to find it out, I'm a bit hesitant to believe that there was actually shock. Everybody knows what's going on in this state. Again, this audit report is only on the behavioral health services. This is a small fraction of the taxpayer money that's being doled out in Minnesota. And when they look into it, it's just a mess.
Now, there were a lot of questions from lawmakers about whether this audit should result in criminal investigations.
Yeah.
So we'll see what comes from that.
It should.
The Office of the Legislative Auditor provides recommendations both to the department and to lawmakers in case law changes are needed. Just one more time of what the auditor said regarding this fabrication of documents. She called it a systemic problem within DHS.
It's only going to get worse. It's only going to get worse. This morning, we have a lot of a big hearing, a lot of questions being asked to Minnesota lawmakers. And we're also learning that DOJ is beginning a criminal investigation on Keith Ellison, Attorney General Keith Ellison out of Minnesota. We heard Dana Perino talking about that a little while ago. If you've been sticking around on the show all day, show starts at 9. We appreciate you doing it. However much you can listen, however little you can listen, we love you being here. But Dana Perino said, they have Keith Ellison on leaked audio tapes saying that he's going to help the Somalis cover up the fraud as long as they're voting the right way and donating the right way. The DOJ is now targeting Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison because of that leaked audio tape. Fox News had the call.
The investigation into these fraud allegations is far from over, but sources are telling Fox again this morning that now that Governor Tim Walz says he's not going to run for re-election, the feds are also shifting their focus to the state's Attorney General Keith Ellison. Why? Because a newly obtained clip by Fox that we just got yesterday, that was from 2021, has Ellison meeting in this recording with a group of people who were asking for his help. The problem is those people, you guys, were then just days later arrested for one of the biggest fraud scandals in the state. Watch.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't do a good job.
The only way we can protect what we have is by inserting ourselves into the political arena, putting our votes where it needs to be, but most importantly, putting our dollars in the right place and supporting candidates that will fight to protect our interests.
That's right.
You can only protect our interests when we have your back, and you don't have to worry about who's behind you.
So that was Attorney General Keith Ellison saying that's right on a leaked audio tape, saying the only way we can protect what we have is by inserting ourselves in the political arena, putting our votes where it needs to be, but most importantly, putting our dollars in the right place and supporting candidates that will protect our interests. And Ellison says, that's right. That's right. This leaked audio tape now has him the subject of an investigation.
So now officials are saying, why was Ellison meeting with this group in the first place? They were asking him to help them get more federal funding, offering votes and campaign donations for support. So the audio clip's part of an ongoing investigation into the widespread fraud across the state. Ellison's office sharing an op-ed that he wrote in the local paper. He said, in part, I took a meeting in good faith with people I didn't know, and some turned out to have done bad things. I did nothing for them and took nothing from them. But documents obtained by the Center for the American Experiment say some of those non-convicted Somali fraudsters that he met with donated money to Ellison's campaign after that meeting. It's money, though, he did later give back once this group was indicted, according to reports. So there's just so many levels of this fraud that's been going on for years, according to officials. Fox obtained that full, nearly 1 hour-long clip of the meeting with the lawyer of Amy Bach. For people wondering who that is there on your screen, she's the Minnesota woman who was one of many convicted last year in that $250 million Feeding Our Future scam. That's how this all started with Bach. She's behind bars, though, but her legal team tells me, where's the accountability for the governor and the attorney general? He said the state let the fraud happen.
And everybody knows it. Speaker of the House in Minnesota is calling for a red wave in 2026. I mean, this is going to be an uphill battle, a red wave in Minnesota in 2026. But the Speaker of the House said that's what's required in order to clean the House in Minnesota. This is the Speaker of the House in Minnesota on Fox News. Her name is Lisa DeMuth.
Attorney General had the responsibility of protecting Minnesotans, our tax dollars and programs, and he has failed at every point. So even though Governor Walz is not running for re-election in 26, he is still in office and he needs to take accountability. But any Democrat that they put in to run in 2026 is part of the problem and will be a Tim Walz third term.
Yeah, we don't need that. Nobody wants that. So it's red wave if you want to fix it, or at least maybe we could do a wave of law enforcement officers arresting some people. That's what we really want to see. We want to see some arrests. We want to see some accountability. And until we do, this is going to start becoming wallpaper. Again, there's a hearing going on this morning. Testifying before Congress was Minnesota Rep. Kristen Robbins. She's actually the Republican that is going to be running, a Republican that is running for governor in the state of Minnesota. And she was calling out Keith Ellison. She was calling out Tim Walz. She said everybody knew about the fraud. And when the whistleblowers came forward, they were told that by Tim Walz's administration that they were accused of racism against the Somalis, and that's what silenced them.
Taxpayers and vulnerable citizens, ignoring years of credible reports and retaliating against those who spoke up, often by claiming they were racist or Islamophobic. Tim Walz and the Democrats have repeatedly protected their political base at the expense of all Minnesotans. Other states should learn from the failures of the Walz administration, so I'll give you a quick roadmap on how to find and stop fraud. First, culture matters. Fraud flourishes when leaders ignore it and criminals see they can get away with it.
Both of those were on full display in Minnesota. The leadership did ignore it. The fraudsters did get away with it, at least until now, thanks to that YouTuber. They always try to discredit him by calling him a YouTuber, the citizen journalist Nick Shirley. But Tim Walz's administration, according to what we're hearing in these hearings, was so vindictive, so retaliatory, that the whistleblowers felt that they were committing career suicide if they talked about the fraud. And this was brought up at the hearing this morning by another Minnesotan, don't you know, talking about the whistleblowers, the threats against them, the retaliation by the Tim Walz administration, and how bad it was if you wanted to speak up. Listen to this.
Been completely consistent. Instead of focusing on fraudsters, DHS leadership instead focused its surveillance on employees. Since then, their expressed fear of retaliation has intensified under an avalanche of fraud in Minnesota. Their numbers have grown from 480 DHS employees, both current and former, to over 1,000 across multiple state agencies. They have told me repeatedly how grateful they are to the House Fraud Prevention Committee for focusing our attention on fraud in the state programs, using their inside information while keeping them completely protected. They have explained that they live in a constant state of fear of retaliation. One only has to look at what happened to Faye Bernstein to understand why. In a very recent Newsweek article dated December 13th of 25, Ms. Bernstein, a former compliance specialist, stated, Minnesota DHS functions in the opposite manner as you would think. Employees who suggest improvements or, heaven forbid, report fraud then face significant retaliation. The messenger is shot.
I thought Democrats loved whistleblowers. They do when they're blowing the whistle on Trump and, talking crap and fabricating stories. But when they're exposing what's happening beneath the nose of the Democrats, then it's career suicide.
In 2019, Bernstein said she alerted Minnesota DHS officials to sloppy contracting practices that were not legally compliant. But it's not what most people would even consider fraud. She says she was later escorted out of the building, faced lengthy investigation, got trespassed from all DHS owned and leased properties, and received involuntary transfer to another state agency.
It's insane. These contracts are a little sloppy. This doesn't even really constitute fraud, but we do need to clean this up, and that gets you escorted out of the building. Can you imagine that? They got an investigation against you. You're trespassed from DHS properties. You got transferred to another state agency. Your job is compliance, and you go, hey, we could probably do this better. It's like, how dare you? In their best Greta Thunberg voice, how dare you? Get the hell out of here. Let's look into her. She's trouble. 10:53, Super Talk, 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friend Aaron Parker over at Parker Safes and Vaults in Shelbyville. Gun owners, listen up. There's a huge difference between a real gun safe and a flimsy metal box that you'll get at a big store. Parker Safes and Vaults in Shelbyville, they sell the real thing. And they break down and explain why it's the real thing on their YouTube page. You should go check that out, Parker Safes and Vaults on YouTube. They break down every safe that they have in stock, giving you a full review of each one so you can make the decision on what safe you want to buy before you even hit the showroom. Heavy-duty gun safes are in the showroom, built for fire protection, theft deterrence, securing your firearms, but also protecting the family heirlooms, jewelry, passports, photo albums, you name it. Aaron Parker knows security. He's an Air Force security veteran, former U.S. Park Ranger. He knows firearms, he knows home security, and he'll help you pick the best safe for your budget and your needs. Now, all you got to do is call these guys, and they'll walk you through the whole process. 931-842-6445, 931-842-6445. Buy a safe from a Christian-run family business. Buy a safe from Parker Safes and Vaults, parkersafes.com.
Hey, this is Pastor Allen. Join us on Super Talk 99.7, Sunday evenings from 7 to 8. We're going to look at the news from a biblical perspective.
All right, hey guys, we're breaking into the stream real quick because we have some breaking news. Chaos in Minneapolis after a suspect has been reportedly shot. Border Commander Greg Bavino is on the ground. This is what the scene looks like. I mean, absolute chaos on the ground. You can see Greg Bavino right there in the middle. We're just hearing that there was a shooting. There's no word on what happened in the lead up to that shooting.
I fucking live here. You don't fucking live here.
But people are pissed. and the scene is chaotic, to say the least.
I'm late for work because you motherfuckers killed people. Does that feel good? We're not fucking being here to fucking shoot people.
Whoa. This situation is developing, and we will bring you the latest as it becomes available here on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I just wanted to break in and bring you this so you guys are up to date with the latest. We'll be back here in a moment. Appreciate you guys.
All right, drivers, looks like in Wilson County, Lebanon Road eastbound is blocked due to a truck spilling its load there at Cairo Bend Road. United States military seizing 2 more oil tankers. This story and more coming up at 11 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Ken Weaver in the newsroom. My name is Chris Hand, and we're following a breaking story out of Minneapolis. Chaotic scene on the ground. We understand that DHS has been searching the area with agents, and apparently a suspect has been shot by Border Patrol. Greg Bavino is on the ground. There is a video coming out. If you're watching this on the YouTube stream, I broke in during the commercial break and played the video unedited because there's a lot of cuss words being thrown around. The video is on the stream right now with no audio. We'll jump back in during the commercial break on YouTube and on Rumble. We'll play you this unedited. And as more details become available, we'll bring you them here first. All we know right now is that we have chaos on the ground after a suspect has reportedly been shot. Border Commander Greg Bavino is on the ground. The leftists are furious, screaming, "Go home. You MFers kill people." And it's a dangerous scene out there. Pray for those agents, pray for their safety, and pray for everybody, man. I don't want any leftists getting shot. I don't want any Somalis getting shot. I don't want any of these illegals getting shot. Pray for some peace out there in Minneapolis and hope that this situation gets de-escalated. After the news with Ken Weaver, we'll break back in on the YouTube and Rumble live streams, and we'll play you this audio and video unedited so you can get a full scope of what's happening on the ground in Minneapolis as we speak. It's 11 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Eleven o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. We're getting a better look at the potential for severe weather later this week. We'll get you some details coming up in the weather in 5 minutes. Full forecast. Well, the U.S. military seizing 2 more oil tankers it says were linked to Venezuela. This one of them has a Russian flag on it. One tanker seized in the Caribbean. The U.S. military says it was under sanctions. The other vessel captured in the North Atlantic. U.S. military sources say it was not carrying oil. We get more from ABC's Luis Martinez on the capture of that one in the Caribbean.
We do know that earlier this week, over this weekend, that a host of some of these sanctioned vessels did leave Venezuela. Presumably, this was one of those vessels. It's key to remember that this is in international waters, and this is something that the United States is able to do, which was transport to these elite teams to the vessel.
So this makes 4 total oil tankers the U.S. has seized since last month. Meanwhile, Karen Travers at the White House says President Trump says Venezuela has agreed to turn over 30 to 50 million barrels of oil to the U.S.
The Trump administration intends to oversee the sale of Venezuela's oil indefinitely and will lift some sanctions on that country. That's according to 2 sources familiar with the plans. The president announced last night that Venezuela will turn over 30 to 50 million barrels of sanctioned oil. Some sanctions against Venezuela will be rolled back. Energy Secretary Chris Wright said today that the sales done by the U.S. government would be deposited into accounts controlled by the U.S. And from there, those funds can flow back into Venezuela to benefit the people there. But the White House has not yet detailed how exactly that would work. Karen Travers, ABC News, the White House.
Yeah, the White House unveiling new dietary guidelines today, urging Americans to eat more whole foods, fewer ultra-processed products, protein intake recommendations increasing, full-fat dairy now encouraged. These changes will reshape federal nutrition programs, including school lunches, which will feature more real food, less packaged snacks. And here in Tennessee, Clarksville police looking for a man they say was taking pictures of women changing inside a Target dressing room on Christmas Eve. Investigators say 28-year-old Francisco Manuel Flores fled the store in a white pickup truck. He's wanted on a charge of unlawful photography, which is a Class A misdemeanor. Anyone with information, Clarksville police asking you to call 931-645-8477. That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
All right, we're back on the stream. All right, we are back on the stream, and we are bringing you the latest from downtown Minneapolis. The scene is absolutely chaotic as we're hearing a suspect has been shot on the ground in Minneapolis. I got the story from, what's this? Bring Me the News. They got the latest. A major police response is underway in South Minneapolis after a reported shooting involving federal law enforcement Wednesday morning. Details are scarce right now, but the shooting reportedly happened at East 34th Street and Portland Avenue. You're seeing the scene. It is chaotic, and you can hear it underneath me here. Happened at East 34th Street and Portland Avenue with Immigration's Customs Enforcement agents, Department of Homeland Security personnel, and Minneapolis police officers responding. Greg Bavino is spotted at the scene, and if you're watching the tape on the screen, here I'll point out Greg. If you can see my cursor on the screen here,
Yeah, I am Arian. You're right.
Greg is going to be popping up here in a moment. He is on the scene. They say, we are aware of a shooting involving a federal officer near East 34th Street and Portland Avenue. Please avoid this area, said the city of Minneapolis. There's Greg Bavino right there in the back. Right here is Greg Bavino. There are unconfirmed reports that it was a civilian injured in the incident, with the Minneapolis Ward 8 City Council Representative Soren Stevenson writing on social media the shooting involved an observer, a volunteer who documents ICE activity during operations raids, saying, I'm aware of an incident involved ICE shooting an observer in a central neighborhood in South Minneapolis. I am on the scene and my team, and I will do everything we can to learn more information, share updates, and demand justice, accountability, and safety for our neighbors. We're not sure if this was an observer. We're not sure if this was a suspect. There are differing reports, but we'll continue to bring you the latest right here on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. It's 11:06 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. We're covering a breaking news story, a shooting in Ward 8 in Minneapolis, Somaliapolis, if you will. Governor Tim Walz has commented on what we're seeing on our screen. It's a wild scene out there. Civilians are downright pissed, cursing out the Border Patrol agents, cursing out DHS personnel. Greg Bavino is on the scene. A lot of F-bombs being dropped. One of the reasons why you should be watching us on YouTube and Rumble. I played the video in its entirety here a moment ago. But Governor Tim Walz has commented on the situation there breaking in Minneapolis. This is his post moments ago. This was 10:46 a.m. Central Time. Governor Walz, my public safety team is working to gather information on an ICE-related shooting this morning. We will share information as we learn more. In the meantime, I ask folks to remain calm. Decent enough statement. I'm not gonna belabor that statement. He didn't point fingers. He didn't assign blame. He said we'll update you and share more information as we learn more. Remain calm in the meantime. Major response to a shooting. There's a reporter on the ground that is saying that it was an observer that was shot. The reporter is Soren with Ward 8 on social media, posting this. He said, I'm aware of an incident involving ICE shooting an observer in a central neighborhood in South Minneapolis. I am on the scene, and my team and I will do everything we can to learn more information, share updates, and demand justice, accountability, and safety for our neighbors. I don't know if it was an observer. I don't know if it was a suspect. The first that I heard of this was it was labeled as a suspect was shot. Now you have this reporter, citizen journalist, who is saying that it was an observer on the scene that was shot by ICE agents and or DHS personnel. Again, they're calling it an ICE-involved shooting, but like this is brand new breaking news. 25 minutes ago, this is going down. So we're going to be keeping our eyes on it. CBS is reporting on this live, saying that they have a crew at the scene of a large gathering of federal and local law enforcement and protesters in South Minneapolis Wednesday morning. City officials said that they're aware of the shooting. CBS News reports with a source with the Department of Homeland Security says the situation involved a vehicle ramming-related incident. This was a vehicle ramming-related incident. A WCCO photojournalist said he saw first responders performing CPR on one person with another person with blood on their face seated inside a Minneapolis Fire Department vehicle, calling it a developing story. This is a developing story. All right, so Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey, is demanding ICE leave the city immediately. This is in response to that shooting. This is his statement. I said, Tim Walz actually had a good statement. We're waiting for more information. Please remain calm. We'll update you as information becomes available. I'm not going to call him out on a decent statement, but Jacob Frey is demanding ICE leave the city immediately. The mayor of Minneapolis, the guy who bends the knee at George Floyd's golden casket, is going the exact opposite route. We don't know what happened. CBS is reporting it as a vehicle ramming. Local journalists on the ground are saying it was an observer that was shot. I'm hearing that it was also a suspect. Mayor Jacob Frey says, I'm aware of the shooting involving ICE agent at 34th Street in Portland. The presence of federal immigration enforcement agents is causing chaos in our city. We're demanding ICE to leave the city immediately. We stand rock solid with our immigrant and refugee communities. ICE is not causing the issue. The Democrats are causing the issue. What do you mean ICE is causing this problem? You have illegal aliens flooding your city. You have Somalis creating so much fraud that we need to surge that area with federal law enforcement officers because your state officials have done nothing about it. You need to leave immediately. We're demanding ICE leave the city immediately. What a joke. What an absolute joke. Walz said he was gathering information. A witness recounts hearing gunshots and a car crash. He said, I see a red truck, airbag inflated, blood all over it, and a woman on the side of the road and the ambulance trying to come through. The witness said, federal agents were trying to tell me to move out of the way when they had their trucks blocking me. The witness says the victim was a mother trying to flee from ICE agents. Okay. I mean, you got to take it with a grain of salt because as you see in the video of everybody on the ground, they're all rabid leftists losing their mind, cursing at these federal officials. So I don't know, like, what is it? A mother trying to flee ICE agents? I mean, it's certainly possible. Certainly possible. CBS is reporting it as a vehicle ramming incident. Certainly possible. I think that's probably closer to the truth than a mother trying to flee from ICE agents. It's insane. They say 19 minutes ago, federal agent fired weapon after being hit by a car last month in St. Paul. That's a different story. We're waiting for more updates to come out of Minneapolis. As updates become available, we'll have them. Federal agents fire chemical irritants on protesters in South Minneapolis. So they're tear gassing them at this point. If you're witnessing the scene on YouTube or Rumble, it does. I mean, it's dicey, man. I'm not gonna lie. It looks pretty dicey. So we now have a report that they've had to spray tear gas on the scene, trying to clear the perimeter and calm everybody down. Let's see what CBS Minnesota is saying about this. Here, real quick. I'm gonna flip over to CBS Minnesota. This is WCCO. This is the source on the ground. Let's see what they're saying. Oh, hang on one second. I got too many audio sources running. Let me close this, and we'll bring back up CBS.
Are walking the perimeter of this area, trying to keep people calm. They're explaining that they're trying to get ICE out of the scene. We're going to be hearing more from them shortly as our crews on the ground are going to be talking with them. But let's take you back to...
Hey, you know what I just realized? That guy at CBS Minnesota used to work here in Nashville. You notice that? Is that just me?
To the ground.
Right? Was he at Fox?
We're continuing to
I think
move
so,
around.
yeah.
Yeah, we're continuing to move around and continuing to stay safe as well. We want to make sure that as we continue to help tell the story, that our crew stays safe. You see that yellow police tape, that perimeter, it is up there right now. But a lot of people have since gathered in this situation. But we also have seen federal law enforcement try to fight back and make sure that people do, in fact, stay safe. And you see someone look like maybe they're going to throw a snowball right there, maybe having second thoughts.
Was it a snowball or was it an ice ball?
We don't want anything else to escalate already heightened situation right now.
Now, this has been happening for the last hour and a half, and we know that that a photojournalist and our reporters on the ground saw someone who said that they saw first responders performing CPR on one person and another person with blood on their face seated inside a Minneapolis Fire Department vehicle. We do know someone has been shot. We do not know the condition of that person, who it was, and who did the shooting.
Tensions are high. I mean, let's be real. You know, ever since
yeah, I mean, tensions are high. If you're watching us on YouTube, you'll see the local CBS. They're throwing snowballs and ice at federal vehicles now. But I mean, there's a large presence. How many people would you estimate are there? A couple hundred people on the scene?
Easy.
200 people, and they're not exactly happy at what's been going on the ground, what's the attention that's been called to the state, the Somali fraud that's been exposed, and now the subsequent surge of DHS and ICE officials. I mean, it's a dicey scene, man. It is, and I have personally just witnessed quite a few people throwing. I mean, you call it snowballs, it might be ice blocks, whatever you might call it. They're not exactly trying to diffuse the situation by any stretch of the imagination. We're following WCCO, a local CBS affiliate in Minnesota, who is on the scene with the breaking news.
We've seen weapons that have been fired with chemical irritants as well. So if we can, should we go ahead and check in with Adam Duxter? He's live on the ground right now.
Let me pull him up, and Adam, I'll let you know when we can hear you and see you. Adam, what are you seeing? You are live.
Hey guys, yes, we've been here for the past
Hold on, guys. I've got mixed minus in my IFB. I'm so sorry. We've been here for probably the past hour and a half or so. It's been chaos since we've been here. What we know is that this started today probably around 9:30, and we were told by neighbors that they saw and heard ICE activity happening on Portland here in 34th, and talked to two different sets of neighbors who said they came outside, and what they saw was multiple federal agents surrounding a Honda Pilot, an SUV, and they say that the Honda Pilot was essentially attempting to get out. They say at one point, a federal agent went up to the Honda Pilot in an attempt to open up the driver's side door, and they say that's when the driver of that Honda Pilot put it in reverse and then drove away. And they say that's when, neighbors tell me that's when they heard multiple shots go out. They believe it was a federal agent firing shots into the side of that Honda Pilot. We were then told that a person from that car was taken out, put on the ground. There was CPR attempted. I've seen multiple videos of paramedics attempting CPR on one person who is believed to be inside of that Honda Pilot. And we're told that there might have been some difficulty getting an ambulance to that vehicle, again, just because of the size of the scene and how many cars were out here. But we were told eventually they were able to get that person and take them away. Again, we have no clue right now as to that person's condition. But again, multiple neighbors corroborating that story that there was some sort of standoff, if you will, and then multiple shots were fired into that Honda Pilot, again, believed to be by one of the agents on scene. I can tell you I've seen with my own eyes. Greg Bovino from Border Patrol is here on scene. We have seen him, and there has been multiple agencies between Border Patrol, the Sheriff's Office here in Hennepin County, Minneapolis Police.
If you're just joining us, we're following a officer-involved shooting, a Border Patrol-involved shooting in Minneapolis on 34th Street. Apparently, there was a vehicle ramming incident. That's how it's being described by some media outlets, and a anti-ICE individual, possibly a suspect, an illegal alien potentially. We're not sure. Was fired upon by federal agents. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN, where we're following this live. WCCO, a CBS affiliate in Minneapolis, is on the ground reporting this. You have protesters clashing with federal agents. You have witnesses seeing someone shot in South Minneapolis. The incident happened at 34th Street and Portland Ave. Apparently, it took quite a while for the ambulance to get in because of the size of the crowd. If you're watching us on YouTube and Rumble, you'll see the size of that crowd. It is not dissipating, despite the fact that federal agents have had to use chemicals on the crowd, where they've gone to pepper spray or tear gas. I'm not exactly sure what they've used, but they've tried to disperse that crowd. But I'm still seeing a crowd of 200-300 people. And apparently the crowd was there before the individual was shot, because as Border Patrol or DHS officials were trying to perform CPR and get that ambulance in there, they had a difficult time getting the ambulance in. We're following the local affiliate WCCO here. They are reporting chemical irritants used by federal agents against protesters in this clash. We're following this live as well as you are.
Neighbors here along Portland who say they saw some sort of clash between multiple federal agents and people in a Honda Pilot SUV. And they say that at one point, one of those federal agents attempted to open the door of that Honda Pilot. And that is when the driver, they say, put it in reverse and then drove away. And again, we've heard from multiple neighbors now that multiple shots were fired. 2 or 3 shots is the most common that I've heard so far. And we, again, were told at least one person was taken away. And again, paramedics having a really hard time getting to the center of this scene just because of how many people are here. But
I mean, it's a massive crowd still assembling in downtown Minneapolis, South Minneapolis. I feel for him, man. I pray for the person that was shot. I hope they make a swift recovery. But you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. I'm not exactly sure of the details. We're still trying to figure out the details on what led up to the shooting, where the agent apparently was trying to pull somebody out of a car. They slam it in reverse, and they fly back, and then that agent allegedly opened fire is kind of the gist of what I'm getting. It's still a confusing scene, but we are going to stay with this. Well, let's keep this up on the stream. throughout the commercial break on radio. So if you're not finding us on YouTube or Rumble, you search 99.7 WTN, hit like and subscribe while you're there. We appreciate you doing so, and share the show with your friends. We'll be following this throughout the commercial break and bringing you more updates as they become available. As it stands right now, though, we do have to pause on the radio side. It's 11:21 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. All right, thank you for continuing to join us on the YouTube stream. We are in break on the radio, but we are following this live. Protesters clashing with federal agents, South Minneapolis, Portland, and 34th. Someone has been shot. Is it a suspect? Is it an observer? We have differentiating reports. And we're not 100% sure at this time. All we know for sure is that there is an absolute chaotic scene in downtown Minneapolis, South Minneapolis. We're following the local CBS affiliate out there, WCCO, for the latest updates.
Deployed, some people from point-blank range, and again, some really grisly clashes with protesters and federal agents here on Minneapolis South Side. But
I mean, I'm watching some of the clashes in real time. They're throwing snowballs and ice at federal agents.
Details. And we're told that there could be a possibility of some sort of press conference at some point today. As I had mentioned, there's 4 or 5 different city council members here. I've seen the chief of police here. So I think they're working things out on their end before they get any word out here.
You know, I love how he says we see all these city council members down there, because as you can imagine, they're going to be getting down there for their photo op and their narrative spin, despite what the truth may be behind the shooting. We don't have the details yet, but as they become available, we'll be bringing them to you. We're following WCCO out of Minneapolis.
Literally just steps away here as that man was pushed to the ground. I was taking video on my cell phone. You could see on my arm whatever's left over from whatever was sprayed, but tear gas and pepper spray directly to all of us. And again, it's at that point you would just describe that as, you know, we are as close to the demonstrators and the protesters that are essentially attempting to block these federal agents from getting out of here. But yeah, Maria, I can't say I've ever, actually I can, unfortunately, say I've experienced that, but
yeah, he's referencing George Floyd. I don't know about you, but this is the first thought that goes through my mind. With it being Minneapolis, Minnesota, does this narrative get spun? Does this turn into protest nationwide? And I know we're zooming out and we're future casting, but we understand what this area is like, and it's hard not to go there in your mind. Does this lead to another kind of summer of love type event? We're waiting for details. They said that we should be getting a press conference soon. And I'm scanning Twitter as well. If you have any good tweets that you're finding, you can text them into us, 615-737-9986. We're going to continue covering this live. We're not leaving the stream, but we are going to be rejoining the radio broadcast here. So stand by and bear with me. It's Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Thanks for watching us on YouTube and Rumble.
All right, we're monitoring the very fluid situation in Minneapolis where there has been a shooting involving ICE agents and a suspect. Also, the U.S. military has seized 2 more oil tankers related to Venezuela, and Trump aides have briefed members of Congress. All this and more coming up at 11:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Ken Weaver joining us from the WTN newsroom. We appreciate you with any of the details that you get, Ken. Break right in, man.
Yeah, a lot of it is the same that you have been producing there, Brother Chris. It's a right now. Just it is. There are so many moving parts right now,
and I'm seeing more leftists being, it looks like, taken into custody by ICE agents, and they are throwing ice, they are throwing snowballs, they are blocking federal vehicles. People are on the ground yelling, "You going to shoot someone else? You can't kill us all."
Yeah, it's a scene.
Am I wrong for going back to the Summer of Love with George Floyd, like knowing that this was the area where it all popped off, and thinking that maybe this snowballs into something much, much bigger?
Well, the thing, what I'm looking at right now is I see a bunch of upset middle-aged white people.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that means, but I just see a bunch of upset middle-aged white people.
So it's exactly like the Summer of Love with George Floyd. Is that what you're telling me? It's a lot
very
like
similar.
It's a lot like
very,
it.
Very similar. Like right now, what I'm looking at right now is you've got a number of Border Patrol agents who are basically they've got each other's backs, and it looks like they are being surrounded by not a horde of people, but a bunch of a group of upset middle-aged white people in media.
Yeah. Yep, I'm seeing that as well. As of right now, the report that we have is that a shooting occurred near East 34th and Portland Avenue involving federal law enforcement. The word on the street is that somebody was either being, removed from a vehicle, at least that's what it looks like, told to move their vehicle. Maybe they didn't. Maybe they didn't comply with that request. The door was open. The driver's side door was open. The driver slams it into reverse. Shots fired. We're hearing 2 to 3 shots. CPR was attempted immediately on the scene. Ambulance and other first responders were called. Had a hard time getting through the crowd. If you're watching us on YouTube or Rumble, I mean, you're still seeing, the crowd is growing. I don't know if is it just me. It looked like 100 to 200 people. Now I'm thinking 200 to 300 people down there on the ground.
Yeah, and you definitely now have the white activists who are shouting at the agents with their phones.
Yep.
And then a lot of them are wearing masks.
Protesters clashing with federal agents following ICE-related shooting. We do have confirmed reports by WCCO and CBS that CBS's local affiliate in Minneapolis that federal agents deployed tear gas. It doesn't look like it's done much to quell the crowd. If you're watching on the stream, though, you're seeing them start to bring in some barricades. It looks like they are going to be marking off the scene and preventing protesters from getting out of there. They're bringing in those bike rack barricades and closing off the streets. Federal officers are.
Here comes something. Something's happening up there toward the traffic light.
What you got?
A couple of agents moving closer to the tape. Well, now the camera's gone off of it. It just looked like somebody was getting a little animated there in the crowd, and a couple of agents advanced. And I thought maybe, here's the thing. These guys don't know what these people are holding. These agents don't know if these people are armed or not.
Yep, you're absolutely right.
And they've got each other's backs right now. But again, what I'm seeing are just some middle-aged white people who are upset.
But I mean, dude, even if they don't have a firearm,
protesters.
I think that you could argue that a piece of ice being hurled at an agent is a deadly weapon.
Well, anything like that, yes.
The protesters are out in full force. Minneapolis police is on the scene. DHS is on the scene. ICE is on the scene. Greg Bovino is on the scene.
Yeah.
We're hearing that authorities are investigating this ICE-related shooting currently in South Minneapolis. We could have a press conference soon. Again, we're going to jump to Ken Weaver for the latest headlines in the news. If you are joining us on YouTube and Rumble, stay put. We'll be joining you live on the stream as we break for commercial after the newscast on radio. But Ken Weaver does have the latest headlines, so we're going to jump to those, and then we'll jump back live on the YouTube stream as we cover an ICE-related shooting in South Minneapolis live on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
.30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. And drivers, they're still trying to clean up that spilled load in Wilson County. It's Lebanon Road eastbound right there at Cairo Bend. They say it could take a couple of hours to clean all that up. Full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. Yeah, this shooting, reported shooting involving ICE agents in Minneapolis, reports that a federal agent shot someone First responders administered life-saving aid. KARE Channel 11 reporter Ian Russell is on the scene, among others. This is what I got from Russell. He says the point of focus was an alleyway between some houses and a white pickup truck and agents.
There was just an interaction, a very tense interaction between some of the people who came out here to demonstrate and protest against federal immigration officials being here. And the immigration officials themselves, there was pepper spray. It still reeks of pepper spray in this area. It's kind of, itches the back of your throat right now. We weren't directly where it happened, but it's still, everywhere. You can smell it very clearly here. Multiple times did they fire off pepper spray. Multiple times they fire off paintballs. Protesters were throwing snowballs to them, which is kind of what led to some of that tense interaction between the crowds here. So
a camera person for another local television station there says he first saw responders performing he saw first responders performing CPR on one person, another person with blood on their face, seated inside a Minneapolis Fire Department vehicle. That same reporter said that it started when someone in that white vehicle slammed the white pickup, slammed the door shut, and then tried to back out. And that is when a lot of the chaos started. Meanwhile, the mayor of Minneapolis releasing a statement demanding ICE leave the city. Governor Tim Walz confirming the shooting, says his office is monitoring developments. That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friends at the Glock Store. Day like today, yeah, we got to talk about the Glock Store. For years, you've been hearing me talk about how the Glock Store has everything Glock. It is in their name. Have you heard about the latest Glocks? The Gen 6, the one with the new optic system, the RTF 6 texturing, enlarged beaver tail, the flat face trigger, trigger guard, undercut, integrated thumb rest, a.k.a. the gas pedal. The list goes on. The Gen 6 Glocks are definitely the most refined stock Glocks ever produced. And as you might expect, the Glock Store already received their first shipment of Gen 6 G17s, 19s, and 45s, and they were literally gone before they got there. That's because the Glock Store is letting you pre-order these bad boys so you can be one of the first ones to get your hands on one. And as a thank you for your pre-order, if you mention my name, Chris Hand, when you pre-order your gun, you'll get an extra magazine when you pick up your new Gen 6 Glock. Here's what you do. You get on down to the Glock Store, you check out the Gen 6 Glocks in the rental department. If you like what you see, feel, and shoot, place your pre-order. Tell them you heard about it on the Chris Hand Show, and when your new Glock comes in, they'll throw in that extra magazine. This is a limited time offer and only from the Glock Store, minutes from the airport, worth the drive from anywhere here in Nashville. And if you're joining us live on the YouTube stream and you're not from Nashville, they're open online as well. Glockstore.com. All right, we're back on the YouTube stream. We're staying with this live. An officer-involved shooting, ICE-involved shooting is being reported in Minneapolis. I am not a fan of Tim Walz. I am not. But I will say that he had a good statement. We're waiting for more information, asking everybody to remain calm, and we'll update you as it becomes available. Listen, that's textbook. That's good. Jacob Fry, the mayor of Minneapolis, though, has gone the exact opposite route and has demanded ICE get the hell out of the city. It's insane. We're following WCCO. They are a local CBS affiliate in Minneapolis. They are on the ground where the crowd does appear to be growing. Just a little while ago, it looked like it was 100 to 200 people. Now it looks closer to 300 and climbing as we speak. We're going to join WCCO live and listen to their local reporting now.
As soon as possible, and we've seen clashes between people here and law enforcement. It's unclear if it was local or if it was the feds at this point, but multiple kinds of chemical agents have been deployed. We've seen people throughout here, including our own crews, needing to wash out their eyes and recover after those incidents.
Connor, be safe out there. Thank you so much for reporting for us on the ground. AJ, we know that we're just hearing from an officer on the ground from Minneapolis that there will be a press conference starting at noon in City Hall.
Okay, that's some news. So there'll be a press conference in about 24 minutes from City Hall in Minneapolis. That is breaking.
And as Adam were saying, this clash between protesters and federal agents is something that even the police chief was worried about.
Yeah, he talked about this just a couple of days ago, if not yesterday. He talked about he was concerned that with ICE coming into town.
Those are the first images I'm seeing of the cars in question. There were some reports that it was a truck, other reports that it was a red Honda, and that does look to be the red Honda on the scene there. That's the first picture I've seen of that. Have you seen pictures of this on your side yet? No. So we're following this live with WCCO, local CBS affiliate in Minneapolis. We're gonna tune back in and see what these guys are saying as they're at the heart of it all.
Police officer or whatever police department. For example, in Minneapolis, they have the blue that they wear. They have insignias that are clearly marked. It's not necessarily easy to
Okay,
see
hang out with us on the YouTube stream, all right? We are going to be pausing the audio on the YouTube so we can rejoin the radio broadcast, and then we'll continue covering this live for you on Super Talk. We appreciate you joining us on YouTube, Rumble, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, all the things. We'll be right back in 10 seconds. 10 seconds tops.
He was worried that someone could seriously.
It's 11:37 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? It's Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. We have been talking a lot about the surge of federal officials in Minneapolis detailing the fraud. That surge has brought a bit of violence to South Minneapolis this morning. If you're watching us on YouTube and Rumble, you'll see what appears to be a few vehicles all crashed up. The word on the street was that there was a vehicle ramming incident. Officers tried to remove an individual from that red vehicle that you see on your screen there. I believe that's a Honda. And when they tried to remove that individual from the vehicle, the individual slammed into reverse. At least that's my understanding as it stands now. I mean, this is all such fresh and new information that there's definitely a possibility that it changes as more details become available. But we've been covering this live. You're getting all the video elements on YouTube and Rumble, but we're going to break it down for you as best we can on your radio as well. A developing scene, a growing crowd. You're looking at leftist protesters irate, cursing and cussing at federal law enforcement officials, throwing snowballs, throwing ice blocks, and it appears that federal officials are responding in kind with tear gas and pepper spray, defending themselves and others as best they can and putting individuals into custody. We've been following WCCO, a local CBS affiliate out of Minnesota. They are on the ground there covering this live. And, I mean, you're seeing, if you're watching us on YouTube right now, you are seeing federal officials clashing with protesters big time. We're going to join WCCO and let them call what they're seeing on the field here.
Chemical irritants. We also know that that our governor is asking for people to stay safe and stay away from this area. However, the crowd has maintained its same level, if not gotten bigger, according to our reporters out on the scene.
To your point, the governor, he said he actually sent out a tweet on X before. He's saying, my public safety team is working to gather information on ICE-related shooting this morning. We will share information as we learn more. But this is the part he says I want to emphasize. In the meantime, I ask folks to remain calm. This is... When you talk about your family and you talk about people who are close to you and you talk about families being ripped apart, you talk about the emotion that is also involved with this. I understand what he's saying, that trying to remain calm, but it's hard to do that.
I mean, there's the leftist spin from WCCO in South Minneapolis. When you talk about families being ripped, we don't know if it was a family. We have no idea. We have no idea if that was a family being ripped apart. And I'm sorry. If I go and I get hammered drunk and I'm driving around with my kids, do you know what happens when I get pulled over? It's called family separation. This is what happens to people that break the law. They are taken into custody. I'm sorry. Miss me with your leftist spin. I know that WCCO in Minneapolis is going to bring the leftist spin for you, but what I'm witnessing is very different. Irate leftists throwing ice blocks and snowballs at these federal officials. A vehicle ramming incident that looks like it clearly took place, just judging by the evidence on the ground and the footage that we're seeing coming out of South Minneapolis, and a large angry crowd growing. No, I'm not worried about family separation. I'm actually worried a lot more about the safety of the officers there. I'm looking on Twitter as this is all unfolding in real time, and you're seeing unhinged leftists calling for violence. I saw a guy, all I did was search Minneapolis shooting, and I clicked latest, okay? This is what I did on X. I'm just trying to find the video so that way I can bring you the latest information. The first tweet that pops up is an unhinged leftist saying at some point, a gun-carrying civilian will decide enough is enough and shoot back, which is 100% what the 2A is for. This is what they're calling for on X. This is what these leftists want. They want the illegal aliens to stay, and they want ICE out. I made the comment earlier, Tim Walz, decent enough statement. Terrible governor, good statement. He said, we're going to gather information, urge everyone to remain calm, avoid the area. The mayor of Minneapolis, Jacob Fry, went the other direction, and his statement that he posted on X demanded ICE leave the city immediately. WCCO is on the ground, the local CBS affiliate, and they're putting their own leftist spin on it. We're going to join them live as this scene continues to develop. If you're watching us on YouTube or Rumble or Facebook or Twitter or Twitch, it is a massively growing crowd. I mean, the crowd continues to grow, and it's not just protesters that are increasing in number. It looks like federal officials and law enforcement are increasing in number as well. They have a bit of experience with these large protest crowds in Minneapolis. Will it be a repeat of what we saw with the Summer of Love, where they turn and look the other way and allow them to destroy everything around them? Or will they try and maintain some law and order? I think that's the question that we're going to ask now. Does this pop off into something much bigger across the country? I don't know. I don't know. We're waiting for more information. WCCO, a local leftist affiliate for CBS, is on the ground. Didn't Barry Weiss take over CBS? Aren't they supposed to stop with the leftist spin? Apparently not. Apparently not.
Were reported to the scene not to help ICE agents, just to help in any way they can with maintaining.
I tuned back in. It's already leftist spin. Minneapolis police is not reporting to the scene to help ICE agents. Make no mistake about it. They're there to keep the peace.
Brown O'Hare has said, we are not here to assist ICE agents. We are here to maintain the peace. These operations do not do with this. And he even said, a lot of times we're not even notified of these operations when they take place. When we are notified, we're helped to respond to crowd control again to make sure that everyone does in fact stay safe.
We know many folks are going to be providing new information. We're hearing of press conferences that are coming in from different organizations, including CARE Minnesota, which is the Minnesota chapter of the Council on American Islamic Relations.
Oh, good,
they are holding
yeah,
a news conference.
Let's hear what CARE has to say. Didn't Texas just designate CARE, the Council of American Islamic Relations, a terror group? Yeah. Will a blue state do the same? No. They'll actually listen to them and be like, wow, you guys are stunning and brave.
Holding a press conference as well in that area at the same time.
So to your point, you talked about CARE Minnesota, the Islamic organization that's going to be holding a press conference today. One of the things they said, they released a press statement, and they said, earlier this week, CARE Minnesota called on law enforcement authorities and public officials to take concrete actions to protect Somali Americans' daycare centers and businesses that have been targeted with threats of harassment as children return to these centers in the wake of the holiday season ending. Now, CARE Minnesota, of course, that is the state's largest Muslim civil rights and advocacy organization. So they're concerned about residents in their neighborhood. And you talk about South Minneapolis, which has a huge community, a huge immigrant community. So
they imported about 80,000 Somalians, and 75 to 80% of them are on some form of welfare program. Not shocked that CARE is releasing a statement. Although at this time, we have no idea if the individual shot was a Muslim individual or not. but never let a crisis go to waste. And the Democrats aren't going to do that here. They don't plan to. And we're going to be getting a press conference. They're saying right around noon, we're going to be getting a press conference, 15 minutes or so. If you're just joining us on YouTube, Rumble, SuperTalk on your radio, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, my name is Chris Hand, and we are following breaking news, a shooting in Minneapolis from an ICE agent is what it appears to be currently. There was a vehicle ramming incident. Someone was going to be removed from a vehicle. Then a vehicle was slammed into reverse, and that's when we had the shots fired. 2 to 3 shots is what we're hearing on the ground. Immediately after the shots were fired, first aid was provided to the victim of the shooting, to the suspect, if you will, in the alleged vehicle ramming, and they called for first responders. The ambulance had a hard time getting in there. As you can see on YouTube and Rumble, the crowd is massive. It's only continuing to grow, both protesters and law enforcement officers. So the ambulance had a tough time getting in there, but aid was administered immediately. We have no idea if it was a Somalian individual. We have no idea if it was a Muslim individual. We have no idea if the suspect was male or female at this time.
Hey, Brother Chris.
Yes, sir.
I've got a about a minute clip of a witness to the car ramming.
Perfect.
And the shooting that the CBS station aired, if you would like to hear it.
Yes, Ken Weaver's in our newsroom. Please play that clip from the witness on the ground who saw the car ramming.
A red SUV parked right in front of our house. 2 people in camouflage, ICE agents, presumably one on the driver's side, one on the passenger side of the vehicle. There were some black and white unmarked SUVs sort of around the street, parked in the street. And then a third person in also camouflage fatigues came and started pulling on the driver's side door handle, at which point the vehicle backed up a few feet and started driving forward. The agent who was on the driver's side originally, who was not pulling on the handle but had been there prior to that, shot 2 or 3 times through the driver's side window. The car drove 30, 40 feet and crashed into another car in the telephone pole.
Again, that was a witness that this WCCO interviewed moments ago.
So, I mean, it sounds like this probably was targeted enforcement, no?
That's what it sounds like to me. It sounds like to me they had pulled this vehicle over, is what it sounds like to me, and the person in the driver's seat did not want to get out. And when they moved, when the car then started moving, well, that can be interpreted as a weapon.
Yeah, and your natural instinct is, I don't want to get run over by this vehicle. So, again, all these details might change. You know, this is
it's very fluid.
These are very early details, and we're trying to get to the bottom of it as best we can. We have Ken Weaver in the newsroom. Thank you for that audio, Ken. But yeah, very fluid situation. A large law enforcement presence is building. The local leftists in Minnesota wanted to make sure everybody knew that Minneapolis police is not on the ground to help ICE. They're just on the ground to keep the peace. We've been following WCCO. They are on the ground there live. If you're watching us on YouTube and Rumble, you're seeing the Minneapolis police increase the perimeter around that shooting, where the shooting took place. They're currently pushing back media. They're pushing back the protesters. They have been clashing with protesters. Pepper spray, tear gas has been deployed. And it looks like other leftists have been taken into custody, but there's a huge presence down there still, and a lot of people are very angry. We're going to tune back into WCCO momentarily here to see if we got any new information. They're trying to block federal vehicles as we speak.
And essentially making sure that people on both sides do in fact stay safe here. You see this officer right here, looks like pushing this protester out of the way so those vehicles can in fact get by. And one of the things we saw too, some of these protesters, we did see one of the back windshields that were actually shattered.
Smashed by one of the protesters, correct.
It was a mostly peaceful smashing.
That was after chemical irritants were deployed. However, after the window smashing, even more chemical irritants were deployed by ICE officers. And that's when we saw lots of protesters with tears running down their face, coughing and spitting to get that out.
Will someone think of the poor protesters? As it stands right now, from the view I'm getting from the local affiliate in CBS, WCCO, it does look like the crowd is dissipating a little bit. It looks like it's thinning out a little bit. That could be because of they've brought in the bike rack guards. Is that what you call them? Like the bike rack dividers, and they've increased that perimeter around where the shooting took place. And apparently the irritants that they've sprayed, the pepper spray, the tear gas has worked to some extent, because the crowd, while it looked like it was growing and growing and growing, it does appear to be thinning out a little bit. As updates become available, we'll have them for you here first on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Okay, we're getting word from DHS that person involved in the ICE shooting has died. CNN is reporting that. The person involved in the shooting has passed away. Listen, it's going to make a bad situation worse. As more information becomes available, we'll be able to get a clearer picture of the scene. But it goes back to, had you complied and not tried to turn your vehicle into a weapon, perhaps this wouldn't have gone the way it went. That being said, I'm only going off the information that I have available in front of me. And I do reserve the right to change my opinion as new details become available. We're following this as closely as we can. Homeland Security is confirming an ICE officer shot and killed a woman trying to run over law enforcement. We're going to be joining WCCO. This is the local CBS affiliate in Minneapolis right now.
There is a lot of discussion. That looks like they are crowding around someone giving a little bit of information, possibly another news reporter. So tensions are high here at the moment. We also know that a few organizations, including Care Minnesota, they represent primarily, at least in recent weeks, the Somali community here. They're going to be giving a statement somewhere around this scene, one that is still very active at the moment as they try to bring the perimeter in.
Now, I'm not sure why Care Minnesota feels the need to give a statement unless we find out later that the woman that was shot and killed was of Somali descent and or Muslim. But it seems like they just want to jump in there and get in on the spin. We are hearing it is confirmed ICE has shot and killed a woman trying to run over law enforcement. That's all the details we have at this time.
At the moment, it doesn't seem that anyone has reacted specifically to those exact circumstances being confirmed from the mouths of DHS or their spokespeople specifically. But of course, I think you'd be hard-pressed to find anyone in the crowd here over the past hour or so that hasn't been convinced that ICE shot and killed someone. So that information is surely to make the rounds here, and I'm sure people will respond and will likely react with criticism and ask questions, because of course no one needs to explain to people in Minneapolis that this is the city where George Floyd was killed by a Minneapolis police officer. Right around the corner, not too far from where we're standing. And on that day, most people will know the history of that the press release that came out from Minneapolis police was quite different from the way that situation actually unfolded and was shown on video. So there will be questions.
Yeah, it was different because, George Floyd overdosed on fentanyl. So it's a little different, certainly different. Derek Chauvin's still in a jail cell, I believe, unjustly. Just my personal opinion. Does this blow up into something else? Does this situation devolve into something much, much worse. We're going to pause on the YouTube and Rumble stream momentarily. The video won't go anywhere, but we do need to rejoin the radio broadcast. Hang out with us. We appreciate you following us and sticking with Super Talk during this breaking news situation. It's 11:56 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. We got Mason Fleming producing everything, doing a fantastic job. Ken Weaver in the newsroom monitoring the situation out of South Minneapolis, where just around the corner from where George Floyd was murdered. You say murdered, I say overdosed on fentanyl. We have an ICE-involved shooting where they're now confirming an ICE officer shot and killed a woman trying to run over law enforcement. I'm going to be passing the baton here to Chad Benson momentarily. Chad, instant reaction to what you're seeing out of Minneapolis.
Well, you know, as everything comes in, it's always at first you hear shooting, you think, somebody shoot one of the DHS officers? Exactly. So you had a wackadoo who decided they're going to take a run, and they effed around and they found out.
I mean, that's how I
view it. Unless, of course, you know what, then we find out later on it's some lady that's 87 and had a heart attack and didn't know what happened. I mean, do you know what I mean?
Well,
I mean,
and I made the comment a couple moments ago. It's like, I reserve the right to change my mind as new information becomes available.
Because that's the thing, and everything, I'm sure there's plenty of conspiracies out there right now. All we do know is person's dead. Looked like they tried to run them over. For what reason, we do not know. Could have been an accident. Could have been, who knows. But if you're going to try to do something stupid, if you do it, they reserve the right to, play a stupid game, you're going to win a stupid prize.
And it looks like some of the protesters on the scene are also winning those stupid prizes because they're throwing snowballs and ice at ICE officers, and then they're subsequently being tackled.
Well, don't do that.
Yeah.
Why should you throw snow at somebody? That's a fun thing to do.
It should be more joyful.
Why waste the snowball and the chance of getting beat down?
I've never thrown a snowball in anger.
No, it's hard to. Well, first of all, it's like, what's this really going to solve? Secondly, unless there's something in here that's going to make you explode, it's just stupid.
And then the agents on the ground say, I see your snowball, and I raise you pepper spray.
I raise you an ass whoop.
Yeah.
So it is chaos. But, you got to find out exactly whatever, because by the time I go on the air, it'll change in some way, shape, or form. By the time Matt comes on, then goes off the air, it'll probably change again. And then we'll learn, again, there'll be something tomorrow, and it'll go from there.
We're hearing that there's going to be press conferences around noon. The Council of American Islamic Relations is on the ground. They're going to be doing a press conference. This is the same group that was declared a terror organization in Texas. They are a public benefit in Minnesota. I don't know why they're releasing a statement unless we find out that the woman that was shot and killed was Somali and Muslim.
Yeah, but how can that be? She's a woman. She's not driving. Maybe that was a problem. That was something. And Ken, I know you want to hear anything out of you. No, that was Bell. He told me to say that.
That's a nasty one. So, I mean, as it stands right now, it's just a dicey situation, dude.
It is, and it's cold because it's Minneapolis. That's the other thing.
Yep.
Crap.
I mean, it looks freezing out there.
So is CARE going to be at the press conference? Or are they just releasing?
I think that they're holding their own press conference.
Dueling press conferences going on at noon.
And then Mayor Jacob Fry released a statement demanding ICE get out of the city.
He was going to release that statement anyways.
Tim Walz, listen, for as much as I dislike the guy, he said, please remain calm and we'll update you as information becomes
because
available.
he made the same thing. He might find out, okay, this was somebody from the Somali community tried this. This was somebody who was some hippie, weirdo, wackadoo with patchouli tried to run him. This could be a 73-year-old lady who didn't know what was going on, hit the wrong, we don't know.
Yep, you're absolutely right. As information becomes available, we'll be having it for you first right here.